morning, Chief. What's this I hear about the Children's Zoo returning your gift?
Yeah, how about that? A baby hippopotamus worth thousands of dollars, and they sent it back.
Well, I don't understand.
Neither do I. You try to do something nice for the kids, give them some pleasure, a little advice.
Advice?
Well, I didn't give them just a plain hippo. I gave them a hippo with a message.
Chief, how could you?
Now, what's wrong with that? Kids don't read enough these days.
But to turn a baby hippopotamus into a signboard.
Oh, it's only water paint it washes right off. That way, I can change the message every few days.
Uncle Milby?
Well, Milburn Drysdale is kind of cold and formal. Uncle Milby's more the real me. Warm, generous, fun-loving.
Save your pennies in a pig or save them in a cup, but bring them to the Commerce Bank or I will eat you up.
Kids love rhyme.
Oh, but Chief, that's terrible.
Well, maybe I can think of something better.
No, I mean, the whole idea is thoroughly reprehensible.
What are you talking about? I'm entitled to get something for my money.
What money? You got this animal by foreclosing on a stranded circus.
Well, what's the difference? A kid would have loved him. 1 week, we could have painted nursery rhymes on him, like, Pussycat, pussycat, where have you went?
Your telephone's ringing.
Oh, keep thinking of some others. Maybe the zoo director will change his mind.
Don't you worry, little hippo. I'll wash this right off.
Now, Jethro, I don't want any more arguments. I want a chicken pen, and I want it right up against Miss Drysdale's head.
Well, Miss Drysdale ain't gonna like it.
What she don't like, she can lump.
If I put the pen up against the hedge, some of the chickens will slip through and go to scratching up Miss Drysdale's flowers.
You think so?
Is you trying to provoke a scrap with Miss Drysdale?
Why, Jethro, she's my next-door neighbor. My dear friend. A lovely lady.
Hey, there's a real funny-looking critter next door.
Oh, out in the yard, is she?
I can't see too good, but it's big and fat and ugly and got a mouth like a gator.
That's my dear friend, all right.
Here, Granny, you look. Ellie?
Who is it complains when I tries to raise chickens in the back?
Miss Drysdale.
And who is it squawks when I tries to raise a cow?
Miss Drysdale.
And who is it screams to a high heaven when I try to run a goat or a sheep?
Granny, what are you getting at?
I'm getting at this. That spiteful woman has turned her backyard into a hog lot. A hog lot?
Granny, Miss Drysdale wouldn't touch a hog with a 10-foot pole.
She's got one now that she better not try to touch without a 10-foot pole. What you mean? We raised us some big porkers back home in the hills. But this hog makes a razorback look like a ground squirrel. Come on, here. Come on. Is that a hog or is that a hog?
That's a hog.
Biggest thing I ever did see.
When you yell suey at that rascal, you better not stand twixt him and a trough.
You know something? I don't think that's a big hog at all.
Shh. Don't mean mouth him, Ellie. I'd hate to get that hog riled.
I mean, he's something else.
Just better.
I wonder where Miss Drysdale got to hold him.
Ellie, run around the back door and ask her.
Granny, I think this could have come from Africa.
That must be someplace in Virginia.
Virginia?
Yeah, they raise awful big hogs there. Feed them on peanuts.
Well, there's a goober grabber if I ever seen one.
Now, child, why, that rascal is good for 300 yards of chitlins alone.
And would you look at them jowls?
Take a tub of turnip greens just to season them.
We could have butchered him, Uncle Jed?
Well, he ain't ours to butcher, Jethro.
Oh, how I wish he was.
Well, I'm telling you, that critter ain't no butchering hog.
And I'm telling you, you're dead. That animal is standing on a pair of 200-pound hams.
And that bacon would fill a smokehouse.
Look at the size of them pig knuckles.
But listen, Ellie, you run ask Miss Drysdale where she got 'em, like I told you.
And while you're at it, ask her, could we buy him off her?
But, Pa,
If you may do as you're told, time is a-wasting.
But, Jed, if you buy that rascal, we's gonna be eating high on the hog, sure enough.
High, low, and in between.
First thing I'm gonna do is send one of them hams to Lee Summit, Missouri. That Willie Marr thinks she can cure a big ham.
Granny, can't you just send her a picture? Why, you'd be giving away 1,000 ham sandwiches.
No, Jethro. Missouri is the show-me state. They gotta see it to believe it.
They could see this and still not believe it.
Granny, the maid says Miss Drysdale's back in Boston.
Do tell. What about the mister?
Well, he's down to the bank. Ain't nobody home but the maid, and she don't know nothing about this critter.
Well, nobody's home, huh? Jethro, instead of a chicken pen, you make me a hog pen. Ellie Mae, you...
Hog pen? Granny, you ain't fixing to bring this critter home.
Well, somebody's got to look after him, Jed. He's wasting away to skin and bones.
You leave him right there till I talk to Mr. Drysdale.
Well, suppose he don't want to sell him.
Well, then that's our tough luck. Come on, everybody.
Giddy up, come on.
Granny, I said leave that hog here.
Jed, I'm doing everything I can to keep him here. I'm even sitting on him.
Chief, I just spoke with the director of the Children's Zoo. He absolutely will not permit bank commercials on his animals.
Then I say no more zoo commercials on our money.
Zoo commercials?
Yes, did you ever hear of the buffalo nickel? What about the eagle on the quarter?
Chief, you are sick.
You bet I am. Here's a great chance to educate our little tots. Will you tell them my nursery rhyme, my dear?
Yes, and he doesn't consider a pussycat, pussycat, where have you went as educational.
Or what about the second line? To the Commerce Bank for 5%. That's the educational part.
Give up.
I will not. I've got some brilliant stuff here. Listen to this. Peter, pumpkin eater, had a wife and couldn't keep her. Got a loan from Uncle Milby, now they always happy will be. Here's another one. Tom, the pauper's son.
That's the piper's son.
This kid is a pauper's son. So this old man borrows money from the Commerce Bank and strikes it rich. Oh, now, wait, here's a good one right here. Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, figuring her interest rate. Along came a spider and sat down beside her and said, hey, this Commerce Bank is great. Wait. That may be the zoo director with a change of heart. Melvin Drysdale speaking. Oh, hello, Mr. Clafford. What can I do for you?
Why, Granny has just got a powerful hankering for that big fat hog of yours.
Well, I'm sorry, but she's in Boston for a week.
Don't tell him I'm hankering for it. That ain't no way to make a deal. I see somebody stuck there with a sick hog.
Sick hog?
Oh, he's in bad shape, Mr. Drysdale. His bristles have all fell out, and his tail has come on kink. Oh, I grant you he looks big and fat. But that's 'cause he's a windsucker. All bloat. Take my word for it, Mr. Drysdale. That hog is dying of the epizootic.
Oh, Granny, you must mean...
from you, just for the hide and the tallow.
Mr. Drysdale, I hope you'll forgive Granny for trying to shuck you out of your hog. We'll call you back. Bye. Granny, I am plumb ashamed of you.
What do you mean? It's always open season on drummers and city slickers.
Not when they're your next-door neighbors. You have done hurt Mr. Drysdale to the quick. I'll bet you he's fit to bust down and cry.
Granny's dying to buy that hippo. She thinks it's a big hog.
Chief, whether it's a hog or a hippo, she won't be allowed to keep it.
Oh, I know that. Eventually, she'll have to give it to the zoo, the children's zoo. And there'll be a little inspirational message on him for the kitty. Where are you going?
Sick leave.
You're not sick.
If I don't leave, I will be.
Come out of here, doggone you.
What you doing, Granny?
Oh, Hi, Jed.
Hi, what you doing?
Trying to get my rope out of the Drysdale's yard. It must have snagged on something like a root or a stump.
A hog.
A hog? Why, yeah. I'll bet you that's what happened. That poor starving critter probably swallowed the other end of my rope, thinking it was a big stalk of sugar cane.
You think so?
Yeah. We gotta save him, Jed. Why don't you call Mr. Drysdale, see if you can make a deal with him for that poor, sick, miserable beast.
Granny, the other end of this rope is tied around that hog.
Hang yourself.
Hang himself?
Yeah. Amongst hogs, that's known as suicide.
What you been whitewashing?
The chicken house.
We ain't got no...
Please, Jed, don't call Mr. Drysdale.
I'm gonna untie that hog.
No, Jed, don't go. I'll do it. Please, Jed, don't go. Wait, Jed. Don't touch that hog. You'll get the epizootic, sure as shooting.
That hog ain't got the epizootic, and you know it.
Well, he's got something that's about to kill him.
Yeah, you.
But whatever gave you that crazy notion?
Well, let's say it's the way you got him whitewashed. Wash this hog down, and then you're gonna let him be.
Jed, I can't leave him here alone and unprotected. The wolves might get him.
Wolves?
You know how they like little pigs.
I've never seen you so bound and determined to get your hands on a critter. What is it?
Jed, all my life I've wanted to win first prize for the biggest ham at the fair. And Willie Marr always beat me out. I'm an old woman, Jed. This is my last chance. If I could just go to my grave with a blue ribbon, I'd be the happiest woman alive.
Granny, I can understand you wanting this hog, but buy him off Mr. Drysdale fair and square.
All right, Jed, I will. After all, it's only money. You can't take it with you.
That's the spirit. Now, what do you figure is a fair offer?
Well, he's our next-door neighbor and our very dear friend. How about $1.25? All right, kid. I'll go $1.30. But for that price, he's got to pull it through the hedge for me.
$1.30? Granny, that hog will weigh out at close to 1,000 pounds.
That's all hoof and hide. Why, dressed, I bet you he wouldn't go 20 pounds. I'll be lucky to break even.
Hey, Granny, give me my commission. I went around the neighborhood like you told me to and took orders on $200 worth of hog meat.
Hush. Folks is on the phone.
Pretty good price for 20 pounds, isn't it?
Well, you wouldn't begrudge a poor old widow a little profit, would you?
Mr. Drysdale? This here is Jed Clampett. Say, would you consider $200 for that hog?
$200!
That's a deal, then.
Thief with a rabbit!
Thank you, Mr. Drysdale. Bye. Granny, you can't take it with you.
Who's going anywhere? I'll have to put a lot of sawdust in my sausage to come out on that deal.
Granny, I told everybody...
You shut your big $200 mouth.
But, Granny, I told everybody you were going to come up with top-grade hickory smoked meat.
And you're right. I'm gonna cut me a piece of hickory and I'm gonna smoke your meat.
Come on, Harold. Wait's getting you away from here. Let's go.
Hey, Ellie, where you going with Granny's hog?
I'm taking him to the zoo because he ain't no hog.
Well, he better be a hog. I done sold $200 worth of that rascal, and I ain't even up to his spare rib.
Well, this critter's what you call a hippopotamus.
Can you get $200 worth of bacon, pork chops, or country sausage from a hippopotamus?
No.
Then this is a hog.
No, it ain't. It's a hippopotamus.
Don't say that, Ellie. You're going to cost me a fortune. Look, I'll show you what my commission comes to on what I've sold up till now. Look at here, $200 worth of orders. Now that's 2 naught naught dot naught naught. Now I get 5%. That's dot naught 5, and I put that under the naught naught and times it. Let's see, 5 noughts is naught, 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 5 twos is 1, and a naught. Now I just add that all up, and put down the knot. Well, I made me $1,000 commission.
Oh, $200 worth of orders?
It looks like in the meat business, the money's in the selling. Hawg, I'm gonna get rich just selling your sausage.
There ain't gonna be no sausages, 'cause this here is a hippopotamus.
It might be a hippopotamus now, but it's coming out of that sausage grinder a hog.
No, it ain't.
Yes, it is.
Ain't.
Just don't find me down to Ellie Mae. That hog ain't to be played with. Now, you take him around here.
What do you mean, Granny? Ellie will take our hog to the zoo.
Ellie's gonna take him back to the trough like I told her.
But, Granny, listen.
Now, you listen, child. That hog's hind leg is gonna send me to my grave a famous woman. For years, they'll be talking about the Daisy Moses Memorial Ham. Right on, Jethro?
Don't you worry, Harold. Ain't nobody gonna run you through no sausage grinder. Hey, I got an idea. I know one place where Granny can't get at you. Come on.
Chief, the owner of the circus just called.
Oh, good. Did he get the bank commercial tattooed on my fat lady?
Of course not. He wants to know if you'll take a baby elephant off his hands.
No, I won't.
The Children's Zoo would love to have it.
They would, eh? Well, maybe we can work something out. Now, let's see. A nickel drop into my trunkle, draw 5% from sweet old uncle.
No, Chief, no. I have told you the Children's Zoo will not permit you to paint bank commercials on their animals.
Then they don't get the elephant. No more, Mr. Nice Guy.
Chief, listen, please. It seems that the baby hippo and the baby elephant were inseparable companions. Now the baby elephant is pining away for his friend. They should be together.
But how can they be? I just sold the hippo to the Clampetts. They think it's a big hog. Hey, wait a minute. Maybe I can tell them the elephant is a long-nosed calf.
Can we come in?
Granny, Jethro, how are you? How's that big hog?
He's too darn high. That's how he is.
Beauty, but
Speak when you're spoke to. Now, you and me is gonna do some hog haggling.
There's no need to, Granny. You can have him free.
Oh, no. I came here to haggle, and we's gonna haggle. Now, you set a price, and I'll make an offer. Then we'll lock horns and go at it.
Granny, if he's willing to...
You listen and learn, boy. I'll show you how it's done. All right, let her fly.
What?
50, and that's my last offer.
Well, all right. So?
Get him. He don't know what hit him.
Granny, he was going to sell you the hog for $30.
You might have to carry me for part of it.
Oh, no problem. Oh, Granny, as long as we're dealing, how would you like to buy a long-nosed calf?
Oh, no. No, Chief. You are not going to sell her that.
But if she wants it?
No, I absolutely will not let you.
Jethro, you are now watching the oldest trick in the haggling business. You see, she, pretending that she wants the calf, is supposed to make me want it all the more. That's what they call chumming the sucker. Here's your money for the hog. We'll talk about the calf some other time, when your partner ain't around.
Well, I'll be right with you, Granny. Mr. Drysdale, I'm going to open up a big account with you. I'm making money hand over fist.
Wonderful.
How you doing it, Jethro?
Well, selling meat on commission. I made $1,000 already today.
What kind of meat are you selling?
Oh, hickory smoked ham, bacon, chops, ribs, you name it, I got it.
Well, then, put me down for $50 with the bacon and ribs.
I'll take $20 worth.
Hot dog. 50 and 20. Not, fetch down the knot. done made another $350.
Jethro, when do we get the meat?
Oh, quick as Granny butchers that big hog you done sold her.
What did he say?
He said, quote, quick as Granny butchers that big hog you done sold her, unquote.
I thought that's what he said. I'd better get Mr. Clampett on the phone and tell him to stop Granny.
I'll say you'd better. And if anything happens to that hippo, Uncle Milby will be Uncle Mud. Children will picket this bank. Moppets will mob you in the street. Their parents will withdraw their money.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's no answer. You don't suppose those hillbillies already have...
If they have, you had better leave town.
My hog is gone! My hog is gone! Hog zappers! Call the police! Fetch my gun! Get out of posse! Different, where's my hog?
Ain't he at the trough?
No, he's gone!
Aw, done been whopped out.
I wanted to die famous.
I bet you Ellie done took the hog to the zoo.
I don't hardly think she'd do that in her swimming suit.
Like the water, don't you, Harold? Granny's scared of it, so we safe in here.
Ellie Mae's drowning my hog. Quick, Jethro, jump in and pull him out. Give him mouth-to-mouth recitation.
I ain't getting close to them jowls till he's on a plate.
He won't drown, Granny. He likes the water.
He'll shrink. His hide will pucker. Get him out of there.
Well, I ain't coming out till you promise not to butcher Harold.
She done turned him into a pet.
Forget him, Jethro. By the time he gets out of the water, he'll be ruined. There ain't no market for soggy sausage.
Granny, how's the hog? Is he all right?
Oh, he's fine. He's fine. We just given him a bath. I tell you what. I'll trade you my big, clean hog, even up, for your dirty little long-nosed cat.
It's a deal.
Chief, both those animals are going to the children's zoo. You promised.
Oh, well, all right. Back to Mr. Nice Guy.
Mr. Drysdale, I don't want to shame you in front of nobody, but that ain't no long-nosed calf.
Thank you.
But that zoo sure is getting a prize-winning hog.
Chief, I just spoke to the director of the children's zoo, and the truck is on its way.
Fine, fine.
The children are going to be charmed and delighted by these animals.
He's gonna like these poems, too, Mr. Drysdale.
Holmes?
Yeah, he's wrote a dandy on this critter. You can give my trunk a yank if you bring your folks to the Commerce Bank. Duke, let's go hunting, boy.
Dad, good news. Ellie Mae's getting married.
What did you say?
Your daughter, Ellie, she's getting married.
When?
Don't know exactly. Could be any time.
Well, who's she getting married to?
Don't know that neither. Could be anyone.
How do you know she's getting married at all?
'Cause the signs point to it.
What signs?
All of them. First off, I heard a dove coo just as I broke an egg with a double yolk.
Well, Duke and me is going hunting.
And then I dumped out the coffee grounds, and they fell in the shape of a heart.
Come on, Duke.
And then I seen a white butterfly inside the house.
I know you set a great store by them signs.
I didn't depend on the signs. I waited for proof. I seen the ring.
Tell him he's wearing a ring?
No. The smoke ring from my soap kettle fire.
Well, come on, Duke.
It floated right up to Ellie's bedroom window.
Well, I'm glad you waited till it was a positive for certain thing.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. She's getting married sure as a goose goes barefoot.
Hey, everybody, did you hear the news? Sonny Drysdale's coming home from school.
There you are, Jed. That's your son-in-law. I'll go tell Ellie.
Granny?
Hey, Uncle Jed, I didn't know you had a son-in-law.
Hold this, boy. Do you
you know how long that stepson of mine's been going to college?
It's been quite a while.
19 years.
19 years?
And he's still a sophomore. He's been in and out of every college east of the Rockies. The oldest undergraduate in history.
Well, by the way, Chief, what has Sonny been majoring in?
Writing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Every week he writes home for money.
Well, if I may ask, what is he going to do out here?
Well, first he's going to get a job and go to work. Then he's going to settle down and marry a nice girl.
Oh, anybody in mind?
I don't care who he marries as long as her name is Ellie Mae Clammett.
Oh, Chief!
Now listen, I've got a fortune invested in that ivy-covered stepson. That's one way I might get some of it back.
But surely you wouldn't engineer a marriage just for money. Sorry, Chief. Lost my head.
Now, please, Sonny, don't stay out there and pout. I'm sure Stepdaddy will change his mind when he sees you. Oh, my precious baby, don't be bitter. We'll straighten things out with Milburn.
I'll never forgive him. Never. That insulting letter he wrote, and that awful four-letter word he used.
No.
Yes. W-O-R-K.
Right, Chief, I'll take care of it. Sonny! Sonny Drysdale, how wonderful to see you!
I know.
Chief?
Milburn, I hope you're happy. Here is the boy you've scarred for life.
What?
Stepdad, why did you tear my thirsty lips from the fountain of knowledge?
Because you were getting waterlogged.
Milburn, it's cruel of you to thrust Sonny out into the world so suddenly.
Don't worry, Margaret. The world has survived some pretty cruel blows.
All right, Mother.
Margaret, I'd like to talk to Sonny alone.
You won't be vulgar, coarse. He's at such an impressionable age.
Just leave it.
I'll be right outside the door. Whimper if you need me.
Now, look, Sonny, I want to be fair, but how can a college education go on for 19 years?
Well, you must realize, Stepdad, that athletics take up a lot of my time.
Athletics?
Yes, there's baseball, basketball, football, hockey.
Really? You?
Of course. I go to all the games.
Sit down. Now, look, Sonny. This is ridiculous. I've been calling you Sonny ever since I married your mother. Now, what is your real name?
Adonis.
Now, look, Sonny, I've got some real good plans for you.
Really? Have you?
Yes. Have you ever thought of getting married?
Oh, I've been to a number of girls.
No, I don't mean that college boy stuff. I mean really settle down and raise a family.
Well, I plan to someday, but I can't get serious now until I finish my education.
Well, you've just finished it, so start getting serious.
But, Stepdad, I can't woo just any girl.
Don't worry. I've got one in mind who'll be just right for you.
Oh, have you really?
Yeah.
What's she like?
Gorgeous, lovely hair, exquisite face, magnificent figure, breathtakingly beautiful.
Oh, we're a matched pair. Oh, I know we're going to be so happy together.
Yes, but first you're going to go out and get a job and go to work.
Ooh, Stepdad, you've ruined everything. Mother? Mother? Mother?
All right, now, let's take it from the start. Come on, come on. Ellie Mae, you're rehearsing for a wedding, not a foot race. Now do it again.
Ready.
Rehearsal's over.
Here you are, Uncle Jed. I've been taking off your part for you, giving away Ellie Mae.
Thank you, boy.
Heck, I'm glad to give her away. Sonny Drysdale's dumb enough to take her.
Wait till I get you unsettled.
Here, stop that. Jethro, take this back upstairs and put it in my closet.
Yes, sir. Boy, if he marries her, he ain't just dumb, he's squirrel bait.
Come back now.
One of these days, I'm going to give him a good whooping.
You mentioned to feel the same way about your granny. Just what did she tell you?
Well, she said I was going to marry up with Sonny Drysdale just as sure as ants at a picnic.
Trying to stop that little woman is like trying to poke a cat out from under her porch with a wet rope.
Well, she said she'd checked every sign, and there just wasn't no two ways about it. I'm going to marry Sonny Drysdale.
Uh-huh. I hope she remembered to tell Sonny.
Chief, Mrs. Drysdale and Sonny are back.
Well, then. Now, look, Margaret, the boy's going to work, and that's that. So let's not have a big emotional scene about it.
Don't worry, that's all over. Nothing clears the air like a good cry. And Sonny's had one. There. Be mother's brave soldier.
Stepdad, I'm ready to go to work.
Good.
Sonny has decided to follow in your footsteps and work here at the bank.
Here? I'm willing to start at the bottom. You can make me a vice president.
How soon can he get to be president?
Oh, just as soon as I can get my name off the door.
Oh, I don't expect to have this office. I want something really nice.
I've got something really nice for you, and it's big. Big as all outdoors. In fact, that's what it is, all outdoors. You're going to be a door-to-door salesman.
Oh, no! You're jesting.
No, I'm not. I got him a job selling adorable beauty products.
Melvin, how could you?
Well, it wasn't easy. I had a lien on the president of the company, threatened to foreclose his mortgage.
Careful of that door, Jethro. You want my wedding cake to fall? Oh, it's you, Jim.
Did you say wedding cake?
Well, I can't leave everything go to the last minute.
Granny, you gotta stop stirring up people and cakes just because of a few signs.
I ain't going by the signs. Just to satisfy you, I made a bunch of tests. And there is the proof that Sonny is going to marry Ellie Mae. Here, you can read this for yourself.
Read it?
That's Ellie's handkerchief, soaked in morning dew, wrung out with her little hands. And you can see her future husband's initials right there in them wrinkles. That's SD, plain as the nose on your face. And all the other tests come out the same way. The apple seeds in the hot shovel, the buckeyes in the ashes, 3 hairs from a cat's tail, the turkey bones, and the buried chicken foot. Every test known to modern science.
Gee, Mother, I feel so discouraged.
Now, dear.
We've been to 5 houses, and I haven't sold a thing.
Well, Sonny, maybe it's not enough just to drive up in front and honk the horn.
Are you suggesting I knock on doors?
No, of course not. Perkins can do it. Perkins, why have you brought us to the Clampetts?
Working our way down the street, it's the next estate.
Oh, yes. And next is our house. Let's go there directly, Sonny, and I'll instruct the servants to buy anything you say.
No, Mother. I want to try here first. Perkins? No, Perkins. I want to go to the door.
Honey, not here. These are the Clampetts. You know, those dreadful peasant people. Remember?
I remember Ellie Mae. Wild, unspoiled wood nymph. She'll buy my beauty products. She'll buy anything from me.
Perkins, it's my sample case.
I'm going with you.
Mother, I'll do this myself.
But I'm afraid for my baby.
Mother, I'm going to show Stepdad that I'm a man. You'll see, Mother. I'll sell Ellie my beauty products. Adorable man calling.
Hey, Sonny!
Hello, Jethro.
How are you?
Fine. Is Ellie Mae here?
She sure is. Hey, Ellie Mae, Sonny Drysdale's here. Stir your stumps. Hey, is that for Ellie?
Yes. I sure hope she likes it.
Hi, Sonny.
Ellie Mae, you're even more ravishing than I remembered.
Right? So are you.
Yes.
Well, Sonny, you got here at last.
Hi, Granny.
Howdy, Sonny. Good to see you.
Mr. Clampett.
Hey, Ellie, wait till you see what all's in here.
Please. I want to show them to her.
You young folks go right in the parlor.
Okay.
Not you.
Come, Ellie Mae. Come see what your adorable man has for you.
Sonny, I've never seen so many pretty things.
I hope you like each and every item. Let's see, where shall we start? Perfume. This one's called Moonswept Desire.
Gee whiz, well, that smells better than vanilla extract.
It should. At $50 an ounce.
$50 an ounce?
Yes, let's try another one. This is more expensive. This is called Midnight Madness. May I put a little behind your ear?
Well, I can't smell it back there.
You're right. I'll put it behind mine. Do you like it?
I sure do.
You take a bottle of each?
Well, if you want me to have it.
I want you to have everything in this treasure trove of beauty. Look what we have here. Bath crystals, dusting powder, hairspray, rinses, beauty, crystals, nail polish, eye makeup, lipstick.
You want me to take all these things?
I wish you'd take a dozen of each.
Well, I don't think I'd ought to do that.
Please, Ellie. It will make me very happy.
Well, I don't even know what to do with some of these things.
Well, I'll show you. Let's start with nail polish. Give me your hand.
Granny.
Let me go, Jed. Sonny just dropped to his knees to propose.
But it ain't right to spy.
I wasn't spying.
What do you call it then?
Snooping. Now let me get back to it.
Hey, howdy, Miss Drysdale. Come in.
Thank you. Where's Sonny?
He's in the parlor with Ellie.
Oh, I was just too nervous to wait outside. It's the first time Sonny's ever tried anything like this.
Well, he seems to be catching on real good.
I wanted to come in with him and help him, but he wouldn't let me.
Well, I should hope he wouldn't.
Miss Drysdale, we's real pleased that you was in favor of Sonny taking this step.
Oh, I was bitterly opposed at first, but his father insisted that he was old enough.
Older? If he was any older.
Oh! Ellie said yes! She said yes to everything. I'm so... Mother! You promised you'd let me do this myself.
Oh, my baby, don't be angry.
I am not your baby. I'm a man. Just for this, I'm not going to eat my vegetables.
What's the matter, Sonny?
Ellie, I'm too upset to talk about it now. I'll be back tonight with the rest of the things. And then we can talk about the money then. Mother, why didn't you stay outside like you promised? Now you've spoiled everything.
Don't go. Mother's sorry.
She just won't untie them apron strings, will she?
Well, don't worry. When Sonny marries Ellie, we'll fix that. When's the wedding, darling?
Well, he didn't say nothing about getting married.
Well, what was he doing in there on his knees?
Oh, painting my fingernails.
Doing what?
Oh, I'm supposed to pick out my favorite color.
Well, when's he gonna propose?
Oh, tonight, I reckon. That's when he's fetching back the rest of my presents.
Chief, the president of Adorable Beauty Products is on the phone.
Now, don't tell me he's fired the jerk already. Tell him I'm out of town.
Sonny sold a $1,000 order.
What?
The First customer he called on.
Ben? Milburn. Oh, what'd you expect? He's my son. What's the difference? I raised him, educated him. He's got my... I'll call you back. My boy just walked in.
Congratulations, Sonny.
Yes, congratulations, my boy.
I had no idea the business world was such a pushover. Now let's talk about that vice presidency.
Yeah, well, the ability to sell is a valuable commodity in any business, and you've certainly proven that.
Stepdad,
Yes, son.
just make me an offer.
Well, I suppose if... Considering... Can we discuss it?
Oh, all right. Just sit down.
Sorry, Chief, another phone call.
Not now. I'm talking to my son, the super salesman.
But it's Mr. Clampett.
I'll be brief, son. Hello, Mr. Clampett.
Mr. Drysdale, I've been trying to get a hold of Sonny, but you can tell him for me not to bring Ellie all them gifts he promised her.
Gifts?
Yeah, she was just telling me, perfumes and all kind of beauty stuff. According to her, it'd come to pretty near $1,000.
I see.
Oh, I know he plans to ask her to marry him tonight, but even so, it's too much.
Thank you, Mr. Clampett. Goodbye.
You've just wasted 68 seconds of my valuable time. Now let's have some action.
Oh, right. Sonny.
You two sit down. You ain't doing nothing but stirring up a breeze.
What's Sonny doing in there all this time? You sure he's fixing to pop the question?
He knows it's pop or get popped.
Ellie Mae, this is going to be a terribly difficult thing for me to ask you. It's like penning up a wild deer, or capturing a beautiful butterfly, or caging a soaring bird. Are you sure you want to do all that to me?
What do you mean, Sonny?
Oh, never mind. What must be, must be. Ellie Mae, will you marry me?
No, thank you.
What was that?
No, thank you. You're a real nice fella, Sonny, and I like you a whole lot. I just don't love you, and I don't think you love me neither.
But that's not the point. You've turned down Sonny Drysdale, the sweetheart of a dozen sororities, king of countless campuses. Are you sure you want to pass up this chance for paradise?
Yep.
Have you thought it over carefully?
Yep.
And you're willing to give up instant ecstasy?
Yep.
Is that all you can say? Yep.
Nope. There's one other thing. You're kneeling on my foot.
Miss Hathaway is here.
About time.
You sent for me, Chief?
Well, I did. Where have you been?
It's my day off.
Day off. I don't give days off to... What is that?
This happens to be the official uniform of the Biddle Bird Watchers, Beverly Hills Nest, of which I am flockmaster.
Well, fly home and change. You're taking me up to the Clampets to get these income tax returns signed.
But, Chief, 1 year ago you promised me a day off. Our esteemed founder, Professor P. Casper Biddle, is coming to town.
Go forget it. I need you at the Clampets in case he asks me tax questions I can't answer.
But, Chief, the professor is leading us to the nesting place of the yellow-bellied sapsucker.
Not until I lead you to the nesting place of the stubble-cheeked taxpayer. Now, come on. We'll stop by your place and you can change clothes.
I am sorry, Chief. I've worked weekends, holidays, and nights so that I might have Biddle day off. And as flockmaster of the Beverly Hills Nest, it is my duty and privilege to meet the professor upon his arrival.
Well, call him. Tell him to take a taxi.
Our only contact is by carrier pigeon, and the last one has been dispatched.
Carrier pigeon?
Yes, the professor is hiking in from the Tehachapi's. I'm to meet him at the foot of the Big Saugus Wash in exactly 22 minutes.
All right, we'll pick him up on the way to the Clampets.
But Chief, a bird-watching expedition.
You'll be out of there in plenty of time to look for your freckle-faced woodpecker or whatever it is.
Yellow-bellied sapsucker.
All right, all right.
Come on, pal. You get the first taste.
So you made some donuts, huh?
Yes, sir. All by myself. Third day in.
Well, that's what you call a real man-sized donut.
Made especially for you and Jethro.
Yeah, ain't that dandy? Why don't you go find Jethro so he can enjoy these with me?
All right.
Hold it. Don't knock.
I distinctly heard the call of a hermit warbler.
How exciting. Perhaps the Clampets will know if there's one nested here about.
You wait here. If there are any questions, I'll sneak out and see you.
But Professor Biddle would like to meet Mr. Clampett.
Yes, I'm trying to raise money to aid in the preservation of the California condor.
The professor is the only human being who has ever managed to live in prolonged and intimate contact with that rare and remarkable bird.
I've actually occupied a condor's nest. As these photographs will prove, I took these with a tripwire. Of course, the condor's nest is just a rocky ledge or sheltered spot high among the rocks.
As you know, Chief, the California condor is probably one of the largest of all flying birds.
But they need help if we're to keep them from disappearing. There are only about 40 left.
A donation from Mr. Clampett would
Forget it. Await in the car, both of you. Preferably in the trunk.
Well, Mr. Drydale, come in.
Thank you, Mr. Clampett.
Who's them two fellas?
Oh, that's a couple of bird watchers.
Well, from the looks of them, the birds probably do a little watching themselves.
Well, Mr. Clampett, I'm afraid it's that time of year again.
What you mean?
Time for us to pay our income taxes.
Oh, good. Let's give them a little extra this year.
What?
Well, I sure can't spend all the money I got, and it ain't doing no good just laying down there in your bank. Turn pale. You feeling poorly?
No, I'll be all right. May I have a glass of water?
Well, howdy there.
Ellie Mae, hello.
Miss Jane, I didn't know you right off.
Ellie Mae, I should like you to meet the famous ornithologist and founder of Biddle's Bird Watchers, Professor P. Casper Biddle. Ellie Mae Clampett.
How do you do, Miss Clampett?
Well, howdy. What y'all looking for?
Birds.
Well, shucks, you don't need them things. I'll just whistle you one down so she can see it up close.
A wild bird?
Well, what would you like? A blue jay, a robin, a owl, a dove?
She does have an amazing rapport with wild creatures.
Well, yonder's Henry. Come on down, Henry. Come on now.
Remarkable. She has tamed a Cyanocetus stellari.
Well, this is a blue jay.
Same thing, Ellie. He's a member of the Corvidae family.
No, ma'am, he's a Clampett. See you later, Henry.
Lockmaster Hathaway, why isn't this girl a Biddle bird watcher?
A definite oversight on my part, Commander Biddle. Ellie Mae would make a splendid addition to our Beverly Hills nest. Would you like that, Ellie?
I reckon so.
Well, I suggest we induct her right now and get her uniformed in time for today's expedition.
Good thinking.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me.
Hello there, Granny.
Hello. Well, Jed, did you put it to him about the fella?
What fella, Granny?
The fella Ellie ain't got.
Well, Mrs. Drysdale wasn't feeling good. I thought I'd wait a bit.
Ellie's been waiting 4 years. If you can't come up with a new one, bring back one of the old ones. Like that big, handsome movie star, Dash Riprock.
Yeah, what happened there? Ellie liked him a heap.
And he liked Ellie.
Well, then why don't he come around no more? Get after him, twist his arm a bit.
I'll do just that.
Well, now, hold on. I wouldn't want you pushing Mr. Riprock at Ellie.
Oh, Granny, look at the fella I just met.
Hello, I am P. Casper Biddle.
Howdy.
Howdy.
We's going bird watching in Griffith Park.
Yes, we're going to look for the nesting place of the yellow-bellied sapsucker.
I reckon it wouldn't hurt to push Mr. Riprock a little.
Dash Riprock to see Mr. Drysdale.
Dash Riprock in person. Here in this office.
Yes. I believe I'm expected.
Oh, no. I would have had my hair done and worn a different dress and...
Mr. Drysdale's expecting me. Miss?
May I have your autograph?
Of course.
Well, not there. Here.
What are you doing out here, Noodleman?
Mr. Drysdale, I'd appreciate it if you used my professional name, Dash Riprock.
Oh, forgive me, forgive me. I've been reading your contract. In here, you're Homer Noodleman of Peoria, Illinois.
Yes, that's my legal name.
Interesting thing about your contract, Homer, Dash. The studio has the right to put you in a television series.
Oh, I'm sure they wouldn't want to do that.
Yes. Well, they usually do what I recommend.
But I'm strictly a movie star. The overexposure of television...
All right, let's forget it. Well, how's everything else? Been having any fun?
Oh, man.
Yes, I read about you in the gossip columns. You must have 5 or 6 girls, eh?
Oh, don't believe everything you read in the newspaper. More like 15 or 20.
Tell me, Dash, whatever happened with you and Ellie Mae Clampett?
Who?
The little hillbilly girl.
Oh, yeah, Ellie Mae. Nice girl. Real sweet. Beautiful, too.
Then why don't you date her anymore?
Oh, no, not me. Those people play with guns.
What?
I brought her home one night. Granny was waiting up for us with a double-barreled shotgun across her lap.
Well, you shouldn't have kept her out so late.
It was 8:30.
Dash, just do me a favor and start dating Ellie again, eh?
No, thank you. The code of the hills is not for me.
Yeah, well, you won't have time for dating anyway once you start your new television series, Crab Man. What? You'll cash in on the craze for comic strip heroes. You'll wear a crab outfit with these big claws. Drive a crabmobile.
Mr. Drysdale?
Yes, Homer?
Can I use your phone? I'd like to call Mr. Clampett. Ask permission to see his daughter.
Good boy, Dad.
Oh, Professor, Miss Jane says her and Ellie will be out directly.
Thank you. What was that?
Nothing, I just busted a donut.
Donut?
What you looking at?
Well, I'm trying to find a stellar eye in that dying elm tree.
Oh, that ain't what's killing it. That's last week's cupcakes.
Cupcakes?
Sit down, Professor. Tell me all about yourself.
There's something alive in that sack?
Just some cookies.
What?
Where are you from, Professor?
Well, at present, I'm living in a little shack up in the mountains.
You ain't got the look of a mountain man.
Well, no, it's not my native habitat. I'm just living there to be near my friends, the condors.
They live in the mountains, do they?
Oh, yes, that's the only place they're happy.
I know just how they feel.
Are you familiar with the California condors?
No, but that name rings a bell. You know any other condors?
Well, there are some in South America.
That's down in my neck of the woods.
Doubtless you mean the Andean condors.
No. Let me see now. What was their name again?
Here she is, Professor, our fledgling bird watcher.
My word, you are a credit to our group, Miss Clampett.
Thank you.
We'd best hurry, Commander Biddle. We rendezvous with the others at 1400 hours.
Oh, yes, so we do. Goodbye, Granny.
Bye-bye.
Granny?
Granny, I can't find them cookies I baked yesterday.
You can't?
No, and I wanted to take them with me. Same thing happened to my cupcakes last week.
Well, don't worry about it, honey.
Say, Ellie, Riprock called while she was out getting your uniform. Said he was coming over to see you.
Well, tell him I'll get back quick as I can.
Well, ain't you going to wait for him? He should be here by now.
Well, I can't, Pa. I'm going with them.
Well, now, Ellie, don't you remember Dash? A big, strapping, good-looking movie star?
Sure. Tell him I'll get back just as soon as we done bird watching.
Well, say, you might as well take along my bird call that I whittled. It's upstairs in my room someplace.
Okay. Be back in a minute.
Say, now, there's who you ought to take bird watching.
Jethro?
Have him break trail through the brush for you. Them feet of his will lay down a path you can drive a wagon over.
What do you think, Commander?
Well, he's not in uniform, but
Jethro! Come here, boy. You going bird watching?
Here. Take this out in the woods with you and get rid of it. But don't let Ellie see what's in it.
Huh?
Come on, boy. There's waiting for you.
Uncle Jed, what's going on here?
He's going out looking for birds.
Hot dog. What kind? Quail, duck, pheasant, turkey?
Ask him.
Jethro Bodine, Professor P. Casper Biddle.
Hello, Jethro.
Howdy. What kind of birds we going looking for?
Yellow-bellied sapsuckers.
Divvies on the drumstick.
Have fun now.
I found it, Pa.
Well, I say, Ellie, that ain't the call I had in mind.
I thought you said Dash Riprock was coming to see Ellie.
He is, but I couldn't hold her. Now we got to figure out how to hold him till she gets back.
Oh, that won't be no chore. I got a great big pot of grits and gopher I can warm up for him.
That ought to hold him.
Speaking of gophers, do you remember that buck-tooth family that used to live up on Piney Ridge?
You mean the Condors?
Yeah. What was their first names?
Let me think now.
It wasn't Andy and somebody, was it?
Well, let's see now. Hers was Jenny.
That's right. They called her Aunt Jenny.
And Uncle Will. Will and Jenny Condor.
That's them. Had 14 young'uns.
Every one of them buck-tooth.
When that family went to eating corn on the cob, they set up a clatter you could hear for a mile away.
What made you ask about him, Granny?
That little professor fella. He knows some condors out here in California.
A ticket, you say? Wonder if there's any kin to Will and Jenny.
Be they's mountain folks.
Well, let's have them down to Vittles.
And the idea. The professor's staying with him. He can fetch him down. I'll cook up a great big mess of catfish.
And plenty of corn on the cob.
Mr. Drysdale, wait. Let me explain. I got here as soon as I could.
It wasn't soon enough, Homer.
I wanted to clear the whole afternoon and evening for Ellie Mae. That was 6 dates I had to break.
Okay, you've got one more chance. But make good, or you'll be combing seaweed out of your hair. With a claw.
You ain't leaving, are you, Mr. Riprock?
Ellie, I'll be back.
And I'll be waiting for her. I'll sit right here so I don't miss it.
Oh, no, you don't have to do that. Come on inside and be comfortable.
I'll give you some victuals. Do you like grits?
Well, like anything you cook, Granny.
Wait till you see what I've cooked with them.
I sure hope that professor don't keep Ellie away too long.
Oh, say, speaking of that little oddball, did he ask you for money to help the Condors?
No, he spoke to Granny about him, but he didn't ask for money.
Good.
But if the Condors need help, I'll give him all the money he wants.
Please, Mr. Clem.
Turning pale again.
Look, don't give the professor any money, at least until I've looked into the tax aspects. It may not be deductible.
Oh, what difference does that make?
No, please, just wait until I've checked into it. Meantime, the state of California is doing what it can to help the Condors. So you relax, and I'll get back to you.
I sure hope they ain't related to Will and Jenny. It'd be a blow to find out their kin was taking charity from the state.
This might take a bit to warm up.
Oh, that's all right.
I'd offer you one of Ellie's cookies, but they's all gone. I tell you, when that girl bakes something, it don't stay around no time at all.
She must be pretty good.
Good ain't the word for Ellie's cooking. Just this morning, she baked 10 pounds of donuts, and they's gone already.
Just my luck to miss out on them.
It sure is.
Well, how y'all doing?
Granny's been telling me all about Ellie's cooking.
Oh, well, don't forget, she's awful pretty.
He didn't get a chance to sample nothing, Jed.
Oh, that's too bad. But then from what I hear tell, you movie stars ain't never home to eat nohow.
True, but then something like Ellie's cooking might just settle a fella down.
That's a fact.
Ellie's cooking and a fella might never leave the table.
No. You're going to be all right.
What's the matter with Jethro?
Well, he became ill on the trail. We terminated our expedition and rushed him home.
What's hurting you, boy?
Them donuts you get me. I feel like I swallowed a couple of brake drums.
You ate them?
Well, what'd you think I'd do? Bury them?
My own fault for making them. I shouldn't have tried to best Ellie.
What are you talking about? Ellie's the one.
Best thing in the world for a stomach ache. Miss Jane, take Dash out and show him the cement pond.
It's a good idea.
Oh, well, we've seen the cement pond.
It's got all different water in it now.
Real pretty.
You get upstairs to bed. I'll be up directly and doctor you.
Now I know what a chicken feels like with a gizzard full of rocks.
Granny, glad to get you alone for a minute. You know them condors we was wanting to have down to Vittles?
Yeah?
Well, it turns out they is real hard up. According to Mr. Drysdale, they is on relief.
Let's give them a sack full of money.
Granny, they is mountain folks. They wouldn't take money from strangers.
True.
We gotta figure a way to help them so they can keep their pride.
The little professor fella is a friend of theirs. Why don't you talk to him whilst I remedy Jethro?
Good idea.
I hope we're going to be good friends, Ellie.
We already are. Well, you're one of the nicest, kindest.
Ellie Mae, you're back.
Well, howdy, Dash. This here's Professor Biddle.
Hi. Gee, it's good to see you.
Thank you.
Dash, this is the famous Professor Biddle I've been telling you about.
Swell. Come on, Ellie, let's go for a walk.
Here, just a moment.
Sir? Professor, you're just the fellow I've been looking for.
But
Sit down. I want to talk to you about helping them condors.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Indeed, it would, Mr. Cloud.
You too, Miss Jane. Sit down.
Thank you.
Granny tells me you've been staying with them up there in the mountains.
Yes, I have.
What kind of place they got?
Well, they live mostly in caves and on rock ledges.
Tell. How many of them is there up there?
Well, I've only counted 12 myself, but there's supposed to be about 40 of them altogether.
You got Will and Jenny backed off. I bet you when that California bunch goes to eating corn on a cob, you can't hear yourself think.
Mr. Clampett, condors do not eat corn.
The ones back home do.
Back home? Oh, you're probably thinking of wild turkeys.
Oh, there's corn on a cob made the noise.
Perhaps I can clear up the confusion. Commander, where are those pictures of you and the condors?
In my map case inside.
Excuse me.
Say, Professor, I got a kind of a notion. Supposing, instead of money, we gather together a bunch of clothes and stuff and leave them up there in the mountains where the condors can find them.
Clothes?
Yeah, good, heavy, warm stuff.
You couldn't get a condor to wear clothes.
You mean to tell me there's 40 of them running around up there buck-tooth naked?
Mr. Clampett, do you know what a condor looks like?
I don't care how pretty they are. They ought to wear something.
Oh, Mr. Clampett, I am so thrilled that you're going to help the commander in his fight to save the condors. For years now, they have been driven farther and farther back into the mountains, shot at, harassed, poisoned.
I don't wonder, the way they carry on.
Hey, let me show you a picture of the condors.
No, thank you. Whatever you do, don't let Granny see him.
Clothes on condors. Gee, and they call me a nut.
Like I told you, I got a date with Professor Biddle tonight.
Well, break it. I broke 6 for you.
Well, I can't do that.
Of course you can.
No, I can't.
Excuse me, I believe the young lady made herself clear.
Now, stay out of this, little fella. Now, look, Ellie.
I'm warning you, don't annoy her.
Butt out, Buster.
I'm afraid you leave me no alternative. Prepare to defend yourself.
I'll be doggone. So that's a condor.
Yes, they're the largest bird.
Ow!
Do you give up?
Yes.
Say uncle!
Uncle!
Very well. Let him up, Ellie.
No hard feelings, Dash. See you tomorrow night.
Okay. But don't be surprised if I pick you up in a crabmobile.
I told Jethro to do that.
I know you did, Granny, but
Cut me a hickory stick, I'll learn him to shirk his chores.
Granny, he done all the other work you give him.
Then I'll give him some more. Where is he?
Well, he was feeling kind of restless, so he took a little trip into town.
Well, when he gets back, he's going to take a little trip to the woodshed.
Now, Granny, it ain't that bad. If a little drive down to the drugstore will get the birds out of his britches, what's the harm?
Because he's turning into a drugstore dude, that's the harm. Laid in bed till 6 o'clock this morning.
I don't hardly think that makes him a drugstore dude.
Hanging around the drugstore does. What's he want there anyway?
Well, just between us, I think he's hoping to meet up with some members of the opposite sex.
Jethro, he don't even know what sex he's opposite.
Now, Granny, a boy has got to do a certain amount of girl watching. Once he gets it out of his system, he's ready to come back and pitch in.
Who's that?
I don't know, but he sure is in an awful hurry.
It's Jethro.
Ain't she a beauty? Wait till a girl see me driving around in this.
Where'd you get it?
I got it at what you call a used car lot. Salesman says it's a real girl trap.
What'd you do with the truck?
I traded it for this.
What?
You traded your ma's fine big truck for this little squash-down thing?
Uncle Jed, this here is a $7,000 imported sports car.
How much I give you to boot?
Give me nothing. I owe them $7,000.
With the truck?
Well, heck no, I forgot. With the truck, I owe them $7,025.
Jethro, you take this thing back where you got it and fetch home the truck.
Oh, Uncle Jed, girls don't go for that truck. But with this baby, I can get me some action.
You get out to the woodshed. I'll give you some action. Get out.
Granny, I need some swinging action. I want to be where things are jumping.
Don't you worry. I'll be swinging and you'll be jumping. Now get out.
You better get underway before you and the truck both gets hauled away.
Oh, gee. Y'all treat me like I'm a kid. I'm a graduate of the 6th grade.
Here's what too much education has done. Back in city living.
Now, Granny.
What he needs is work. Work and more work. Chores from sun up till sundown. That'll keep his mind off the girls.
Excuse me, Chief. Here are your files on the Mammoth Picture Studios.
What for?
Why, you were meeting with Mr. Chapman.
I don't need those. All I'm going to do is fire him.
Why?
2 months ago, he brought an actress over here from Sweden and put her under contract for $10,000 a week.
Oh, yes, Ulla Bergström.
I found out she'd never made a movie in her life.
No, but she was the sensation of Europe in Chekhov's play, The Cherry Orchard, and she's done some other fabulous things.
Well, she's doing one right now, sitting up there at the studio, collecting $10,000 a week for nothing.
Well, Chief, it's her first picture, and they just haven't been able to find the right script for her.
Well, I've got it right here. It's called A One-Way Ticket to Sweden.
On a tanker?
We're through squandering money on that Swedish meatball. 8 weeks at $10,000 a week. Oh, wait till I get my hands on Chapman.
Chief, he's making movies, not packing crates. He's dealing with sensitive, creative artists. You can't turn out dreams on an assembly line.
Only it's time someone started running a movie business like a business.
Miss Hathaway?
Oh, come here, Mr. Chapman, and sit down.
Stay on your feet. This won't take long. Now, I understand you've had trouble finding something for your Swedish star to do.
That's right.
Well, I've come up with something that's perfect. It has travel, adventure.
Sounds like just a ticket.
Exactly. Now,
No, wait. You can tell her about it yourself. I brought her along. Come in, Miss Bergstrom. Miss Ulla Bergstrom, Miss Hathaway.
How do you do?
And here's the real boss of the studio, our banker, Mr. Milburn Drysdale.
Mr. Drysdale, it's a great pleasure. I've heard such wonderful things about you.
Mr. Drysdale has an idea for you.
You have?
Forget it. It's terrible. But don't you worry. We'll have something just right for you, no matter how long it takes.
Mr. Chapman is about ready to send me back to Sweden.
What?
8 weeks at $10,000 a week.
Larry, we're making movies, not packing crates. We're dealing with sensitive, creative artists. You can't turn our dreams on an assembly line.
That was beautiful.
it just happens to be the way I feel. Now get busy and find something worthy of her talent.
There's a part I'd love to play, but Mr. Chapman does not think I should attempt it.
Oh, why not?
Well, it's a part of a poor sharecropper's daughter. She'd have to talk with a backwoods accent.
I can do it. I know I can. Oh, it's a real challenge. Please give me the chance.
What's the problem, Chapman?
I speak to you alone. Excuse us for a moment.
Make that half a moment.
Mr. Drysdale, she's from the European School of Realism. She wants to go to the backwoods to learn the authentic accent and mannerisms before we start the picture. So that could take another 3 months. And at $10,000 a week. Think it over.
Chief, I couldn't help it over here. May I offer a possible solution?
There isn't any.
But there is. Miss Bergstrom could stay with the Clampetts and learn the backwoods accent and mannerisms while she's filming the picture.
Yeah. Remind me to talk to you later about a raise. Well, I've solved the problem.
You have?
Yes, I figured out a way you can play the part without delaying the picture 1 day.
Oh.
You're a genius. Oh, no, I'm not.
Oh, yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
But you are.
No.
Milburn, you really are.
Let her talk me into it.
Wait till you see the chores that Granny's got for you to do.
Oh, yeah? Well, you can tell Granny I'm running off to join the French Foreign Legion.
What's the French Foreign Legion?
That's where you go to forget a woman.
What woman do you want to forget?
Granny.
How come it makes you forget?
Because you're out in the middle of the desert, fighting and marching and getting tromped on by camels, and dying of thirst in the burning sand whilst the sun scorches you to a cinder.
Why come you'd want to go to a place like that?
Like I told you, to join the French Foreign Legion.
It sounds awful.
Ellie, I don't make the weather in France. Dumb old girl.
Ellie, was that Jethro we heard?
Well, yes, sir, Paul.
Where is he? I got some chores wrote down for him.
Well, he says he ain't gonna do no more chores, Granny. Says he's running off.
What? Cut me a hickory stick. I'm gonna smoke his house
Now,
until...
Granny, we don't want to be in the midst of a family ruckus just when that poor little Bergstrom girl gets here.
Well, is she just awful poor, Paul?
Well, I kind of figure she must be, Ellie. Otherwise, Mr. Drysdale wouldn't have asked us to put her up.
I wonder why he ain't putting her up at his place.
Well, probably because we've been through just what she's facing, being strangers in Beverly Hills.
And that's a miserable feeling.
Even worse for her. She's from a foreign nation.
A place called Sweden.
This is how backwoods people live in your country.
Well, no, the Clampetts happen to strike oil. But they haven't lost the speech and mannerisms of the hills.
And here I can learn to play the part of a sharecropper's daughter.
Yes, all you have to do is watch Ellie Mae.
Mr. Drysdale, how long do you think I'll be staying here?
Just long enough to pick up their way of speaking. Did you bring your tape recorder?
It's in my...
Doggy, this must be the little Bergstrom girl.
I wouldn't call her little, but she's pretty as a mess of hog jowls.
Welcome as a new catalog.
Miss Ula Bergstrom. This is Granny and Mr. Clampett.
Howdy.
Oh, and Ellie Mae.
Oh, howdy. My, you sure are a tall drink of water.
Where's Jethro?
Oh, he's packing up to run away from home. Here's Elmer. You can have him while she's here.
Come in. I got a mess of grits and sow belly on the stove.
Mr. Drysdale, I've decided to think this over some more.
Wait, you want the part, don't you?
You know I do, but...
Don't worry. You'll love the Clampetts. They're wonderful people. You can trust me. I'm a genius.
Now, she'll be staying in with you, Ellie. Make sure that there's no critters in her bed.
Yes, indeed.
You know, Mr. Clampett, I didn't get to tell you much about Miss Bergstrom on the phone.
Well, now, you just leave the getting acquainted to us, Mr. Drysdale. I reckon we know how to make her feel at home, huh, Granny?
We've bedded down a passel of strangers in our day. Ain't had no complaints yet.
I know, but
Now, you get back to the bank and stop worrying about Miss Bergstrom. We'll treat her so many ways, she's bound to like one of them.
Are you hungry?
I'm not actually. I'd like to freshen up a bit.
Would you like to take a dip in the cement pond?
Cement pond?
Ain't you never seen one of them?
No, I don't think so.
Sorry to be so long, Miss Ula, but I had to get Ralph out of your bed.
What?
Oh, he's just a little old gray squirrel. But he's getting a little nearsighted. Just don't stick your toes out from under the covers at night.
Well, let's get the young lady settled in. Excuse me, ma'am, but what kind of hide is this?
Alligator.
I kind of thought that's what it was, but I didn't want to say nothing.
That's gator, all right.
That doggies, I'd have to be awful hard up to tote a suitcase made out of gator skin.
Everything she has is made out of it, even her shoes.
That Sweden must be crawling with them varmints.
She's had a hard life, Jed.
My doggies, it'll be a pleasure to see her face when she ties into her first possum.
Bob, Jed, I'm running away from home.
Yeah, that's what Ellie was telling us. All packed, I see.
My clothes is. Now I'm gonna pack me some lunch.
Huh? We's going swimming in the cement pond.
Fine, Ellie. Oh, say goodbye to your cousin before he runs off.
Goodbye, cousin. See you when you get back.
I ain't coming back. This is goodbye forever.
Okay. Bye forever. Come, Ula.
Coming, Ellie.
Jed? Who was that?
Oh, ain't you met her? That's the girl that's moving in with us.
Moving in?
Right.
Here?
That's right.
In this house?
Yeah! What's all this nonsense about you running away from home?
Not me, Granny. No, ma'am, no. Never.
Well, that's better. Now, do you want to get out to the cement pond and saw me some firewood?
Yes, ma'am, that's what I want to do right now. I sure do. You bet. Yes,
See that, Jed? One look at this hickory persuader, and he changed his mind.
All he needed was one good look.
Got it!
Jethro, you better stop sewing for a while.
Reckon I'm gonna have to. I've done run out of benches. I run out of saws, too.
You certainly are strong, Jethro.
No stronger than your average mule.
Go right through those marble benches. I bet you could saw through anything.
Shucks, heck, fire. Tarnation.
Wait. Let me get my tape recorder.
Oh, how do you want me to saw it? Straight across or down the middle?
Wait. You don't have to saw through the tape recorder.
Oh, I can do it.
I'm sure you can. I can see you're very strong.
You know something? Smarter than I am strong.
Are you?
Yes, ma'am. I'll cipher something for you. Let's see.
Let's go for a swim, shall we?
Okay.
Hold it! I'll cipher for you while I'm swimming. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8.
Well, did you have a good swim?
Well, just laughing, Paul.
How about you, Miss Ula?
Just larping.
Good.
Did Jethro saw up all the wood I told him to?
Wore out 3 saws. Now he's fixing all the marble benches.
Didn't even have to tell him to do that.
Come on, Ula.
Well, just a minute, Ellie. Granny and me want to have a little talk with Miss Ula. She'll be along directly.
Well, yes, sir, Paul. See you in a bit, Ula.
Well, sit down.
Would you like a cup of coffee?
Thank you.
Well, tell me, Missoula, how long you been in this country?
2 months.
What you been doing all that time?
Not a thing. Just sitting around. And I'm so anxious to go to work.
What kind of work do you want to do, honey?
Act in the movies.
You want to be a movie star?
Well, I hope to be. That's why I came to Hollywood.
Uh-huh. Well, you ever acted in the movies before?
Not yet, but I know I can do it.
What did you do before you left Sweden?
I was working in the cherry orchard in Stockholm.
Cherry orchard, huh?
I was in it for 18 months.
Well, you must have been pretty good. You ever think of doing that over here?
Oh, please. It seems like I spent my life in the cherry orchard. Before Stockholm, I went from one end of Europe to the other doing the same thing.
Of course, when you're good at something.
No, thank you. I came here to be in the movies, and with your help, I know I can do it.
Well, we'll do everything we can. Of course, it's a big jump from cherry orchard to movie studio.
I see it as a challenge. I'm going to show Hollywood that a Swedish girl can be a sharecropper's daughter and make good.
Sharecropper's daughter?
Well, we know she was hard up. But now I see how she could eat so poor and yet look so good.
What you mean?
Well, she probably got all the cherries she could eat.
Miss Ula forgot her pocketbook.
Where's Uncle Jed? Where is that sweet woman?
I'm right here, boy. I got plenty more for you to do. Well, first off, take this to Miss Bergstrom. And then you can wash the windows.
Yeehaw!
Well, you see how happy and contented he is when he has lots of chores to do?
I never seen him so happy to wash the windows.
And after that, I'm going to have him sharpen all of my kitchen knives.
Ready? I got a notion.
What you mean?
I'm going to call up Mr. Chapman over to my movie studio and ask him to drop over and take a look at Miss Ula.
You mean you think?
I grant you it's 1,000,000 to 1 chance, but stranger things have happened.
Jethro?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, yes, ma'am.
Would you do me a favor?
Oh, anything, Miss Ula, anything. I'd climb the highest river or swim the deepest mountain.
All I want you to do is help me with this movie script.
Well, yeah, what do you want me to do? Produce it or direct it?
No. I just want you to read this line for me. It's right here.
Okay. I have got a powerful hankering for you, mister. Can't you read?
Yes. Now say the line without reading it.
Okay. I have got a powerful hankering for you, mister.
Just a moment. Let me get my tape recorder.
He's had time to sharpen 24 knives and a barn full of tools by now.
I have got a powerful hankering for you, mister.
Say it again.
I got a powerful hankering for you, mister.
I told Jed that boy didn't know what sex he was opposite.
Hey, boy, how you doing with Granny's knives, did you? Uh-oh. Looks like you wasn't paying attention.
Oh, yes, I was. I never took my eyes off of her.
Well, I can't say as I blame you. But you better get down to the hardware store, quick.
Oh, yes, sir.
Where was Jethro going in such a hurry?
To the hardware store. Catch him and you can ride along. Just a minute, Mr. Chapman. You see that little girl sitting over yonder?
Oh, yes, sir?
Well, she is a sharecropper's daughter out of Sweden. Her name is Ula Bergstrom. And I'd consider it a big favor if you was to put her in the movie.
What?
Just any little thing to get her started, and I'll see that you get a raise.
But that girl... A raise?
Dandy big one, how about it?
It's a deal. Miss Bergstrom, my name is Chapman. Come along with me.
Where are we going?
To the studio. You're going to be in the movies.
That's all right, Mr. Woolley. You go along with him. Make us proud of you now.
She will.
But, Mr. Chapman, I don't understand. What is going on?
Jed, where's Miss Ula going?
She's going to the studio to be in movies.
That's sweet of you, Jed. I hope she gets to be a star.
Me too, Granny, but just in case, let's plant us a cherry orchard out back. Wonder how much money I ought to draw out.
Don't forget, I need school supplies.
And I need victuals for my critters.
And I need victuals for you critters.
I reckon I might as well draw out enough money to last us a month or two. Reckon $10 will do it.
Yeah, I never could sleep a wink with all that money in the house.
I told you not to drive with that hangover.
Anybody hurt?
I don't think so.
Well, no harm done, huh, kid?
Well, not to your car, but you kind of bent our bumper. I reckon I can straighten it out, though.
Attaboy. You going in the bank, old-timer?
Yes, sir. I was planning to.
Well, come with me. They know me here. Maybe I can do you some good.
I hope you'll forgive my stupid husband. Had a bad day yesterday with the nags, and he got stoned last night. So now he's got to borrow some money to pay off his bookie.
What's a bookie?
A little rat called Sam the Collector. Oh, Jim could only stay away from the horses.
Your husband likes horses, does he?
Loves them, especially losers.
Jed says a man who likes animals can't be all bad.
Here comes Uncle Jed, Granny.
Well, let's be on our way. Bye, ma'am. Glad there was no harm done.
So am I. What happened to you? Fall down in there?
Shut up and act hurt. That old geezer's worth $35 million.
What?
Faint. We'll sue him for a bundle.
Case of Johnson versus Clampett. Are the plaintiffs ready?
We are, Your Honor.
Are the defendants ready? Mr. Clampett.
Yes, sir.
Please rise when addressing the court.
Yes, sir, your courtship.
Your Honor.
Oh, just call me Jed.
Mr. Clampett, let me warn you that any attempt at humor will be dealt with severely. You're being sued for $100,000. Do you consider that funny?
No, sir.
Very well. Are you represented by counsel?
Am I what? By who?
You have an attorney. A lawyer.
Oh, no, sir.
I see. You're appearing in pro per. You any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Well, hearing no objection, I'll permit your defense.
Well, thank you, sir.
For the plaintiffs will make his opening statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. Although my clients, the Johnsons, are really in no condition to appear today, I have persuaded them to come to court so that Your Honor can see the carnage wreaked by this criminally careless family of hoodlums.
Oh, excuse me, young feller, but our name ain't Hoodlum, it's Clampett. That's all except Granny, she's a Moses, and Jethro, he's a Bodine. He's my cousin Pearl's boy. Pearl's back home right now with Jethro and his sister trying to get her married. She's 18 and still single.
That is enough.
That's the way my cousin Pearl feels. A girl passes 18 and her chances of getting a husband.
Mr. Clampett, will you please be quiet? Now, I'm going to excuse this outburst because apparently you're unfamiliar with court procedure. However, one more infraction and I will hold you in contempt. You be seated. Proceed, counsel.
As I was saying, Your Honor, I have prevailed upon my clients to appear today, although at the cost of great personal suffering to themselves. Bailiff, if you please.
Is them the people that run into us?
It sure is. What you reckon happened to them?
Something terrible by the looks of them.
Let's go see, can we comfort them?
Your Honor, protect my clients from these ruffians.
You got a terrible memory for names. We's Clamp, except for Granny and Jethro.
Mr. Clamp, I declare you in contempt of this court. And I'm going to give you a fine of $100.
Well, thank you, but I didn't do nothing to earn no $100.
The fine of $100 is suspended. Now, please, take your seats. The attorney for the plaintiffs will proceed.
Your Honor, the maimed and broken bodies of my clients speak more eloquently than any words of mine in condemning the criminal actions of this lawless family.
What'd he call us that time?
Lawless? I know a family named Lawless. Awful nice folks. Raise pigs.
You will prove, Your Honor, that on the day and date set forth in the complaint, said defendants did willfully and maliciously crash into the plaintiff's car, inflicting upon the bodies of the plaintiffs numerous and grievous injuries, for which we ask the court to award damages in the amount of $100,000 to said plaintiffs.
He can't even remember the Johnsons. He keeps calling them the plaintiffs.
There are two ways about it. When it comes to recollecting names, that young feller's pitiful.
I want you to tell the court in your own words exactly what happened.
Well, Mrs. Johnson and I had just driven up to the bank where I hoped to borrow some money for my favorite charity, the Horse Lovers of America. And although we've been married for 20 years, Mrs. Johnson and I are still very affectionate.
Proceed with your testimony, Mr. Johnson.
Well, being affectionate as we are, we sat in the car for a few moments to speak of our love.
I love you, Jim Johnson.
I love you, Mabel.
What other man would borrow the money to help those poor old horses on their way to the glue factory?
Well, I do what my heart tells me. Mabel!
What is it, Angel?
There's an old truck careening down the street out of control.
Oh, Jim! He's heading straight for us!
Well, have no fear. I'll protect you, darling. If that's the last I remember, Your Honor. Those monsters crashing into us in an alcoholic stupor.
Fine, please.
Court is recessed for 10 minutes.
Who you reckon smacked into them people like that?
I don't know, but they was driving something called a stupor.
What do we drive, Jethro?
I ain't sure, but I think it's called a Stutz.
If we wasn't there, we could have helped them.
Excuse me, mister. How do you get to the playground?
Playground?
Oh, yes, sir. He just called recess.
Your Honor, please, sir, Mr. Judge.
Yes, Mr. Clavitt? Do you wish to question Mrs. Johnson?
Oh, no, sir. That poor woman's been through trouble enough. I just want to say that me and my family here is right good at tracking and trailing and hunting. And we'd be right pleasured if you'd let us go out and hunt down them rascals that was so mean to the Johnsons.
Mr. Clavitt, do you expect the court to take those remarks seriously?
Well, I reckon I did brag a little too strong on us, but if we can't catch him, we got a hound dog named of Old Duke. He can follow our trail a month old.
That's right, he can. Why, you just give old Duke the scent, he can get after it.
Is it possible that you people don't realize that you are the accused?
What do you mean?
You are the folks who caused these injuries to the Johnsons.
Us?
Who says so?
They do.
That's a bad blame lie.
We wasn't even there.
Bailiff, restrain these people.
What do you mean, restrain these people?
You want to die? You want to
If you ask me, this is a heck of a place to spend recess.
That fella said he put us in here to cool off. It's hotter in here than it is in there.
Well, there's one good thing. He's going to give each one of us $100.
Fine. That's what I say. Fine and dandy. Jed, you look like you're counting hairs on a hog's back. What you studying on?
I'm studying on this whole situation, Granny. Why would the Johnsons haul off and say we'd done something that we didn't?
Well, maybe they's fibbing to get the money.
Maybe they's text.
I agree with Ellie. Way I got it figured, that accident they had knocked their memories loose.
I coulda. The way they's bandaged up, they must have took some awful hard knocks.
Granny, supposing you make some poultices for the Johnsons, then that'll draw the hurt out of their heads and they'll be able to remember what smashed into them.
I'll do it, kid. And I'll whomp up a great big dose of retchweed tonic. There ain't nothing like retchweed to get you thinking straight.
All right, folks. Judge adjourned court till after lunch. And then he wants you all back in that courtroom on your very best behavior. He said he'd suspend your $100 fines.
There he goes, spending our money again.
I'm going to ask the court for a judgment by default. Those hillbillies aren't coming back. They've probably left town.
Hope we didn't keep you folks waiting. We hurried the best we could. Didn't even stop to eat.
For a piece over at our place.
Clearly got a lot of fixing to do.
And you're gonna feel a heap different when I get done with you.
How dare you threaten my clients?
Quieten down, little man. Ain't nobody threatening nobody.
They're back, Your Honor. All rise.
You can uncover the grits, but keep the lid on the baked pasta. Well, how about the chitlins? They're just as good cold.
They sure is, Granny. Smells good, don't it, Judge? We'd be right pleasure to have you join us. Everybody, we got plenty.
Thank you. That is very nice of you.
Oh, not at all.
You realize how long you've kept this court waiting?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Judge, but we done the best we could. Granny was working like a whirlwind, baking possum, cooking grits, making tonic, and fixing poultices.
I am not interested in what Granny has been doing.
I wouldn't rile her up if I was you, Judge. Not on an empty stomach. Granny gets right ornery when she ain't eat all day.
I am also not interested in her dietary idiosyncrasies. Bailiff, remove that food from this courtroom.
Hold on. We's hungry.
That's your own fault for being late.
I wouldn't say too much about being late if I was you. This is the second time today you've come in here in your nightgown.
Granny, I understand that you make very good moonshine whiskey.
I call it my rheumatism medicine.
I see. But it is quite potent. Quite strong.
Well, you don't want to stand too close to a fire when you uncork it.
Yes, well, now then, Granny. Do you sometimes carry a jug of this rheumatism medicine around with you? Take it on trips, say?
Only when I get my twinges.
Well, were you having twinges the day you and your family crashed into the Johnsons?
No, and we didn't.
That's all. Thank you. Mr. Clampett, how many guns do you have in your home?
Well, Granny's shotgun, Jethro's lever action, my pistol, my squirrel rifle.
You needn't go on, Mr. Clampett. That's quite an arsenal you have.
Thank you.
You're used to carrying a gun, aren't you?
I've been toting a squirrel rifle since I was knee-high to a jackrabbit.
And I understand you're quite a good shot.
Back where I come from, if you didn't shoot good, you didn't eat.
I see you shot only for food.
Yes, sir.
And you were very poor.
Yes, sir.
And then oil was discovered on your land, and you became very, very wealthy and moved to Beverly Hills.
Yes, sir.
But isn't it a fact, Mr. Clampett, that in spite of all your millions, you are still frequently seen carrying a gun?
Yes, sir. You see,
Now, just answer the question, yes or no. Do you, to this day, frequently carry a gun?
Yes, sir.
Were you carrying a gun the day you and your family crashed into the Johnsons?
No, sir, and we didn't.
That's all. Thank you. Step down.
No, sir.
What do you mean, no, sir?
Ain't all, and I ain't stepping down. Not until I've said a few things.
Your Honor, I object.
Now, Counselor, I have been very lenient with your conduct of this case, just as I've been very lenient with the conduct of the defendants. However, since Mr. Clampett here is the defendant and will bear the financial burden if judgment is against him, the court wishes to hear anything that is relevant and pertinent to this case.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Clampett, let us hear what you have to say.
Well, thank you. Well, to begin with, there ain't nobody told the real story about what happened the day the Johnsons backed into us.
I object, Your Honor. There has not been one shred of evidence or testimony supporting the allegation that my clients backed into the defendants.
That is very true, Counselor. Perhaps now we might have it. In the meantime, you be seated.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you may proceed, Mr. Clampett, realizing, of course, that you're still under oath to tell the truth.
Well, Your Honor, I learned how to tell the truth so long ago, I reckon it's become a habit. And what with making a promise on the good book, I'm going to be extra careful.
Proceed.
Well, me and my family drove down to the bank. And then we drove on home, and that's the last we seen of the Johnsons till somebody come to the house and told us to come down here to the courtroom.
You may cross-examine.
Well, that's quite a story you told, Mr. Clampett. Very simple and very sweet.
Just the truth, like I promised.
You're innocent of all these charges against you, aren't you? You've nothing to hide.
That's right.
Then why, Mr. Clampett, did you not answer the summons and complaint served upon you by the county marshal?
Summons and complaint?
That is right, complaint. This is a complaint, Mr. Clampett. In fact, it's a copy of the one delivered into your hands.
Is that a complaint?
It is. Why didn't you answer it?
Would you mind reading that first line there?
The people of the state of California send greetings to J.D. Clampett.
That just didn't seem like no complaint to us. And as for answering it, well, Jethro says there's pretty near 18 million people in California. We just couldn't hardly see how we could get around to greeting them all back.
Any further questions?
Not right now, Your Honor.
Court will recess for 30 minutes, after which we'll hear final argument. All rise. Counsel for the plaintiffs ready for his final summation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, sir, Mr. Judge, could I say something that might save us all a lot of time?
You any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Proceed, Mr. Clampett.
Well, sir, if it's all right with you, I'd like to go ahead and give that $100,000 to the Johnsons.
Do you admit the claims made by the Johnsons?
Well, no, sir, it don't. But he deserves the money, and I can afford to give it to him more if he needs it.
Would you mind telling the court why you think he deserves it?
Well, Your Honor, I got a daughter here, Ellie Mae, and I reckon she means more to me than just about anything in the world. And during the recess, when I seen Mr. Johnson with his daughter and seen how much he loved her, just like I do Ellie Mae, well, kind of tore at my heart.
What daughter?
Shut up. There he was in his wheelchair in that little room across the hall, and in walked this beautiful girl with the long red hair, and I knowed right away she was his daughter because she walked up to him and she says, "How's it going, Daddy?" Judge, Your Honor, with no nurse to help him, that brave man got to his feet and stood there straight and tall so she wouldn't see he was suffering. And he hugged her and he kissed her, and right then is where I found out she was a heap like my daughter, fond of critters. Because he said, "Marcia, darling, when I get this 100,000, I'm going to take you to Mexico and we're going to watch the ponies run."
Take enough for that
Your Honor, these developments surprised me as they did you. I asked to be relieved from the case at once.
Request granted. This court finds for the defendant.
Bring those plaintiffs back into this court immediately. They're to be held for perjury.
Doggies, it sure pleases me to see you taking a hold in the kitchen like this.
Well, thank you, Pop.
What you making?
I'm stirring up a cake.
All by yourself?
Well, yes, sir. Granny said it's high time I was learning, because this is the way to a man's heart.
It's right as rain. You know, when it comes to getting a husband, the best spooning is done in the kitchen.
Well, I done beaten the batter. You want to lick the spoon?
I do for a fact. Yes, sir. Good cooking is just about as important as good looking. Yes, sir, when a girl as pretty as you can whip up a cake batter like this, got a lot of life to it, don't it?
Thank you.
Maybe you better beat this a little more. I don't think he quite broke its spirit.
Ed,
Yeah, Granny?
we have got to do something about Jethro before he drives me to a early grave.
What's he done now?
He was in the kitchen here underfoot, eating everything he could get his hand to. And to give him something to do, I told him to crack me a basket of walnuts.
Ain't he doing it?
Oh, he's doing it. But wait till you see how. See what I mean?
That rascal is using the slow time grain mill.
He's getting bone lazy, Jed. It's time he learned a trade, like barrel making or blacksmithing.
Seems a shame for a boy with 6 years of schooling to do hand labor. Must be some way we can put all that education to work.
He can't make up his mind what he wants to be. One day it's a rocket scientist, and the next day it's a fry cook.
Well, that's his brain and his stomach fighting it out.
Mark my words, his stomach will win.
I don't know. He's got a brain for figures. I ain't ever seen anybody could cipher like that boy.
Here's your cracked walnuts, Granny.
Cracked? You mean powdered.
What are you chattering about?
You're probably the biggest nut he's ever seen.
Jethro, cipher something. Show Granny how good you are.
Okay. Well, what do you want? Times or Gazinta?
Well, let's have some gazintas.
Okay. 5 Gazinta 5 once, 5 Gazinta 10 twice, 5 Gazinta 15 3 times, 5 Gazinta 20 4 times. That's as high as I can go anyway, without my tablet.
You done fine, boy.
I still say, where's he going to use all that highfalutin education?
Well, there's Mr. Drysdale's bank. They do a heap of ciphering down there.
Oh, wouldn't that be a blessing?
What are you all talking about?
Well, we think you ought to get a job.
At the bank? I kind of lean towards being a fry cook. They get all they want to eat.
See?
I'll tell you what, Jethro, you have a talk with Mr. Drysdale. Let's fly with a few of them gazintas. He might have a place for you.
Excuse me, Chief. Mr. Marvin Bagby is here for his appointment.
Oh, yes. Jethro, show Miss Hathaway some of your amazing ciphering.
Oh, well, Chief, I've seen it.
I've done some gazintas for her, but I ain't times nothing.
Yes, time something.
Okay. 1 times 1 is 1.
In her office. Are you Mr. Marvin Bagby?
I prefer the name by which I am known the world over. Marvo the Magnificent.
Dog, you're a magician.
Greatest in the world, my boy. My boy, treasured. You are Mr. Drysdale, I presume.
That's right. Sit down.
Thank you. Your bank has been highly recommended. I wish to arrange a loan.
Well, no problem if you have collateral.
I am temporarily between engagements. However, I expect to hear from my agent at any moment.
Sorry, Mr. Bagby. My bank can't make you an unsecured loan.
Unsecured? My dear moneylender, I have a warehouse full of priceless professional paraphernalia.
Sorry.
It is worth conservatively $100,000. I only want to borrow 50.
50,000?
$50.
It's not even worth that to my bank. Now, why don't you take it out of the warehouse and sell it?
A magician does not sell the secrets that have brought him fame and fortune. Besides, there's a little matter of 10 years backstory.
In other words, you haven't worked in 10 years.
Not on the stage, no. But I've sold aluminum awnings and stole mufflers. My most recent position was at a car wash. Wait, Mr. Drysdale. The merciful man, I haven't the price of a meal.
Well, just pull a rabbit out of your hat and eat it.
Fortunately, I consumed the last one some weeks ago.
Oh, by the way, who recommended this bank to you?
The bank down the street.
Miss Hathaway, bring your book, please.
Mr. Drysdale, I've done times plumb through the 8s. Have you decided where you want me to work?
Not yet, Jethro, but we'll have something for you in a week or so.
You want me to wait here?
No, you can go home.
Thank you. Oh, Mr. Marvel.
What is it, boy?
Whereabouts can I go to see your magic act?
I might be able to show you 1 feat of legerdemain here and now. You have a 50-cent piece.
No, sir, but I got a quarter.
It will do. Watch closely. Now you see it. Now you don't.
How about that? Hey, can I see another one?
Have you another coin?
No, sir, but if you come up to the house, we got plenty there.
No, thank you, lad.
Yeah, but my Uncle Jed, he is just crazy about magicians. Well, I bet you he'd pay to see your whole act.
I doubt if he can afford it.
He's got $50 million.
He has what?
$50 million, right here in this bank. Just ask the cashier.
Perhaps he can afford it.
Who's that grand-looking gentleman?
Uncle Jed, that there is Marvo the Magnificent, world's greatest magician.
What did you say?
Well, no, sir. Throw it right on his suitcase. Uncle Jed, I'd like for you to meet Mr. Marvo the Magnificent.
How do you do, sir?
My dog is Mr. Magnificent. Who'd have thought I'd be shaking hands with a real honest-to-goodness magician?
Pleasure is mine, sir. Say, that's a beautiful scarf you have there.
Where?
Why, right here in your pocket.
Well, I'll be doggone.
Ain't that something? Did you see that?
I did for a fact.
One moment, Jethro. I believe there's something in your ear. Ah, yes, here we are.
Jed, he pulled that egg right out of my ear.
I seen it, boy. That beats all.
You haven't seen anything yet.
He's going to put on a whole show for you.
No.
Yes, sir. We stopped by, picked up his suitcase full of magic stuff. Had a dickens of a time getting out of the hotel. He had to lower it down to me from his window.
Yes. The management of my hotel asked that I not remove my suitcase by way of the lobby. People see my name on it, crowds gather, clamoring for me to perform.
That's the truth, Uncle Jed. As we was pulling away, a fella come running out of the hotel, waving and yelling, come back with that suitcase.
Such is the price of fame.
Here now, look at me, keeping you standing around out here. I'm plumb ashamed. Come on inside.
Jed, Riddles is... Who's this goomer?
Get ready for a big thrill. This here...
Uncle Jed, let me do it. I found him. Ready? This here is Marvo the Magnificent.
Magnificent what?
Magician.
Magician?
World's greatest.
Says so right here.
John,
Don't you turn me into nothing.
Oh, he wouldn't do that.
Can you pull a rabbit out of your hat? I seen a magician do that at the county fair once.
Granny, we've been keeping him standing out here for a long time. Now, he's going to do a whole show for us later.
Is he?
Yep.
Would you like to have a bite to eat with us first?
Madam, I'd be delighted.
But now, don't get your hopes up too high. It ain't likely to be as fancy as you're used to. We just simple folks. What are we having, Granny?
Turnip greens, sow belly, and pot liquor.
Can you believe that? Jethro fetches you home out of the blue, and it's the one day we's having company victuals.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. For my first feat of leisure domain, I shall... Oh, dear. This is the wrong handkerchief. I never have liked polka dots.
Did you see what that rascal done?
He's something else.
Pull a rabbit out of your hat.
Observe, ladies and gentlemen. I have fashioned a drinking cup out of an ordinary piece of paper. I shall now fill it with milk and quench my thirst. Oh, I've changed my mind.
He made that milk just disappear.
I wish I could do that.
You do that every meal, and quicker.
I should do another stunt.
Pull a rabbit out of your hat.
For my next astounding presentation, I shall require the services of my gorgeous young assistant.
Now, Jethro, he ain't talking about you.
Well, he sure ain't talking about you.
Yes,
He ain't neither.
Yes.
He ain't.
Jethro, girls first, then you can have your turn.
My compliments, young lady.
Hey, did y'all see that?
Sure did, Ellie. That rascal's a world beater, ain't he?
I'll say.
Look, I think he's fixing to pull a rabbit out of his hat.
Observe, ladies and gentlemen, an ordinary top hat. Now, with the assistance of this lovely young lady, I shall make a cake.
Did he say a cake?
Yeah, and he sure picked the wrong assistant for that.
The ingredients, if you please. Flour and sugar. Butter. Milk. And eggs.
He's gonna ruin that hat.
Get himself a sorry cake in the bargain.
Stir the batter, please.
Well, if you say so.
Here. Now you may remove the cake.
But there ain't no cake in there. Well, there's just a big old mess of... Hey!
That's a better looking cake than she took out of the oven.
Yeah. Ought to get her a hat to cook in.
When's he gonna pull a rabbit out of that thing?
Granny, it's my turn to be his assistant.
For our next excursion into the realm of magic.
Okay, Ellie, you can sit down now. I'm going to help him.
You, Jethro?
Yes, sir. You know, Mr. Marvel, I've been sitting out there watching you, and I done made up my mind. You're what I'm going to be.
I beg your pardon?
It beats working at the bank, brain surgeon, double knot spying, streetcar conducting, or anything.
What does?
Being a magician, like you. Jethro the Magnificent.
An admirable ambition, my boy, but magic is an art which requires a great deal of skill and knowledge.
Oh, I'm full clean up to here with knowledge. I done graduated 6th grade. Yeah.
Well, of course, the most important thing is the equipment. Very difficult to get. Very expensive.
Heck, fire. My Uncle Jed's got millions. Well, he could buy me a whole warehouse full of stuff.
Yes. Good.
Come on, let's have a show.
please, Mr. Marvel, just give me a chance to show you how good I can be.
Very well, my boy. This will be your test. And now, ladies and gentlemen, with the aid of my brilliant young assistant, I shall cause this vessel of solid metal to vanish before your eyes. And to make it even more difficult, I shall first fill it with water.
No, it ain't, Mr. Marvel. It is hooked to this here dredge.
That's the best trick yet.
Jethro's a natural for that magic stuff.
How'd I do, Mr. Marvel?
You're a natural, my boy. I think I know where your Uncle Jed can buy that warehouse full of equipment.
I want to be a magician.
Well, good. Maybe the two of you together can pull a rabbit out of that dad-blasted hat.
Oh, Mr. Marvel, look at all this stuff. What is it?
I will explain, my boy. This is the magic cabinet of the beautiful maiden.
Hot dog. There ain't no beautiful maiden in here.
That's the magic pot. This cabinet can produce one.
Oh, go on. You're greening me.
Observe. An empty cabinet. Right? Now I'll turn it around for your benefit.
Okay, now what?
Watch closely. Beautiful maiden, sweet and fair, materialize from out of the air.
Oh, man. Can I learn to do that?
If your uncle buys the equipment.
Oh, he will, he will. I guarantee it. Well, this thing alone is worth the money.
Very well, we will test your skill. Into your hand I place the magic wand. About your shoulders, the sorcerer's mantle. And upon your head, the wizard's crown.
All ready now?
You are indeed ready.
Okay, let me see if I remember what to say. Oh, yeah. A beautiful maiden, sweet and fair moment. Come to me from out of the air. Yeah! Like the dead, write the check. I'm a magician. I'm the dead, write the check.
Quickly, girls. Wait for me in the taxi outside the gate. You will be handsomely rewarded.
Mr. Grundy? Mr. Clampett, come in, come in. Get up, let Mr. Clampett sit down.
No. Matter of fact, Mr. Drysdale, I think you better sit down.
Me?
Yeah, I got some awful bad news for you.
Bad news?
Now, try to get a hold of yourself. Jethro ain't a-coming to work for you.
You ain't?
No, the boy is going into the show business. He's going to be a magician in vaudeville.
Jethro?
Going to call himself Jethro the Magnificent. Bought that name, some fancy clothes, and a whole warehouse full of magic stuff from a fella called Marvo.
Marvo the Magnificent?
Well, Chief, that's the man who's...
I know! World's greatest magician. Nice fella, too. He sold me $100,000 worth of stuff for half price.
50,000 down the drain.
My golly, I didn't think he'd take losing Jethro so hard. Well, now, I'll tell you what. You all come up to the house, and I'll have him put on a magic show for you. Cheer you right up.
Where did Ellie get that costume?
Come in the trunk with the magic stuff. But it looks like some of it done disappeared.
Now I present to you Jethro the Magnificent.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. For my first fee to lay Germaine. Got the wrong handkerchief. I never did like polka dots. Don't mind them for a little while. For my next magic trick, I am going to pull a rabbit out of this here hat.
Now you're talking.
next trick, Jethro. I got to work on this one some more.
Ladies and gentlemen, that there is such a good trick, I'm going to save it till last. And now, I am going to produce a cake from my hat. I mean, if I can borrow a hat from the audience.
My hat's got a hole in it. Can you borrow yours?
Of course, delightful.
You want, Jethro?
Thank you, sir.
Well, you see this trick, Mr. Drysdale? It's a humdinger.
Now, my assistant will step through those curtains and take from that hat a cake.
Here, Jethro, hold the rat. It didn't bake.
Now, my next trick. Ladies and gentlemen, things ain't going just perfect up till now, but this here trick will make up for it. Beautiful maiden, sweet and fair, come to me from out of the air. Miss Jane!
I almost made it.
Oh, nuts!
Cheer up, Mr. Drysdale. You might have lost a hat, but you gained a good hired hand for your bank.
You know, Ellie, I'm glad company is coming. We don't get much chance to use this fancy eating room.
No, Jethro and Paul uses most of to play what you call pool. I don't see much sport in it myself.
Well, what can you expect from a game that you play on the dining room table?
You reckon I ought to set 8 places? Is it for sure Miss Flat and Miss Scruggs is a-coming?
Well, we know that Lester's bringing his wife, but we don't know for sure about Earl. But you better set a place for Louise, just in case.
Yes, ma'am. Where about you want Jethro's plate?
Put him up at the end yonder there. When he goes to eating, I don't want the company in bruising range of his elbows.
How's it going, girl?
Jed, why ain't you on your way to the airport? You're going to be late picking up Lester and Earl.
Well, according to Jethro, we got plenty of time. He says he's got a new way to get there.
I wouldn't trust no shortcut if that eating machine picked it out.
Well, this ain't no shortcut. He says he got something new he put on the truck.
What is it, Paul?
I don't know yet, Ellie. I think he wants to surprise me with it, but he says it's going to be a real time saver.
This here's a surprise I've been working on.
It's kind of like a windmill.
I call it my traffic jam jumper. Hop in, I'll show you how it works.
Well, now, boy, we don't want to be late meeting Lester and Earl's plane.
That's where this rascal's gonna come in handy. Suppose we was driving down the freeway, and there's a big traffic jam up ahead. We don't sit there and fret and fume.
What do we do?
Throw this out of gear, throw this into gear, give this a yank. Here we go. That's the whole idea. We just fly right on over that traffic jam.
He's up in the air, all right, but how do we move ahead?
Guess I forgot to figure that out.
Did you figure out how we get down?
Oh, yeah, that's easy. Just shut off the engine.
What do you suppose that was?
We best go see.
Well, other than that, what do you think of it?
I'll tell you later. Right now, I got to get somebody out to that airport.
Oh, Ralph, I haven't been able to find Mr. Drysdale. Will you tell him I have to rush out and do something for the Clampetts, and I'll explain when I get back. I hope it isn't too breezy back there, Mrs. Flatt.
Oh, no. I was all prepared to ride in the Clampett's truck. This is a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, mighty nice of you too, Miss Hathaway.
Yes, ma'am. We sure do appreciate it.
My pleasure. I'm a great fan of your music. Unfortunately, I don't get to hear you very often.
I tell you what, we'll be doing a couple numbers as soon as we get to Jed's place.
Yeah, Granny always makes us sing for her supper.
You're sure invited for listening, and Like as not, eating too.
Oh, I wish I could accept, but I'm afraid I have to dash right back to the office.
Oh. Well, why don't you boys do a number 4 right now?
How about it, Lester?
Oh, that would be an imposition. I couldn't ask you to perform in an open car.
We played in worse places.
And for smaller audiences.
Margaret, I've asked you not to call me on this car telephone. It's for business. All right, dear. What have the Clampetts done now? You saw them where? What? In their what? Margaret, trucks do not flop. All right, dear, go back to your bridge club. I'll do something about it. I'll get her a new psychiatrist. Talk about obsessions. Now she thinks those hillbillies hover in the air. Get me Crestview 67399.
How about you girls joining in?
Well, I'm game if you are.
Lester doesn't think I'm much of a singer.
Now, Gladys, I never said that.
Well, why don't you let me go out on the road with you and perform then?
Well, darling, that's because you don't sing her kind of song.
If you let me sing my kind of...
Here we go. Everybody in the same key now. Little Brown Jug.
You and me, little brown jug, I love thee. You and me, little brown jug, I love thee.
What do you mean Miss Hathaway isn't there? I left her in charge. Well, ring her office again. Well, ring the secretarial pool. Ring... Isn't that Miss Hathaway coming towards us?
I believe it is, sir.
Well, there's a couple of fellas in the car. And another girl. They're singing. She's out on a date while my bank goes to pot. What? You bet I've got a message for her. She's fired.
You and me, the brown jug, I love thee.
I'm sorry, Louise couldn't come along.
Oh, so was she, Granny, but one of us had to stay and look after things, and she volunteered.
Well, it was nice of her to let you have the cooking lesson.
Another cooking lesson?
Didn't she show you my letter? I told her that this time I was going to learn you city girls everything. From pickling pig's knuckles to making hog's head cheese. And he's going to start with butchering the hog.
Oh, thank you for watching my desk, Miss Murray. Any messages?
Just this one.
You may return to the secretarial pool. I'll call. This says I'm discharged.
Yes. Everybody's sorry to see you go. We started taking up a little collection for you.
But surely this is some sort of... if this is somebody's idea of a joke, I don't...
Oh, Miss Murray, will you... Well, if it isn't the playgirl of the Commerce Bank.
Chief, what is the meaning of this?
Well, let me see if I can translate it for you. Discharged. That means fired. Canned. Sacked. I need employees who are trustworthy and obedient. Wait in my office.
Yes, sir.
I don't need employees who skip out the minute my back is turned.
Chief, if you're referring to my absence from the bank...
I'm referring to you joyriding along Whittier Boulevard with that flashy blonde and those 2 Texas beer salesmen. You and me, little brown jug. Oh, what a double life you lead. Trim, prim Miss Hathaway in the office. And the minute my back is turned, it's Happy New Year.
Mr. Drysdale, if I am to be turned out without a hearing?
Without a hearing? Everybody along Whittier Boulevard gave you a hearing. You and those off-key butter and egg men.
Before I leave, I think you should know that my passengers were Mr. and Mrs. Lester Flatt and Mr. Earl Scruggs, dear friends of Mr. J.D. Clampett, at whose request I picked them up at the airport. Goodbye.
Come back to your desk. Can't you say it was a joke?
I don't consider it a joke to be humiliated in the eyes of my fellow employees. Why, they even took up a contribution for me.
Oh, really? Well, let's see. 53 cents. I tell you what, if you stay, I'll make it an even buck.
Your generosity is overwhelming. But if this is my reward for 10 years of faithful service... No, thank you!
No, wait! That's only the beginning. From now on, you don't have to work Sundays.
And you can take a full 20 minutes for lunch every day. And no more working late. I promise you'll be out of here by 9 o'clock every night.
Thank you, Ella Mae, but my wife Gladys is real fond of singing. I'm going to ask her to do a number for us.
Oh, yeah. Come on, Gladys. Oh, you don't want to hear me?
Yes, please.
But I'm not a performer. I'm not even prepared or anything.
Come on.
Well, all right. I'll try. What do you think I should do, boys?
How about that song you've been rehearsing for 2 weeks? Yeah, that one you bought that special new dress for.
All right, boys. But I think the lighting and the acoustics are better in the entrance hall. Oh, and fellas, on your accompaniment, I'd like you both to be playing guitar. And when we get to the rubato strain on the reprise, glissando into the major seventh, and we'll take it moderato on the subdominant, okay?
There she goes with that music school talk again. Yeah, I wish I knew what it meant. Me too, Lester, me too.
We didn't know Gladys was a singer.
This is going to be a real treat.
I'll say.
Yeah, boy. Now, don't go to getting your hopes up. Gladys is a sweet woman, and she tries hard. But she ain't never going to be no Minnie Pearl.
Nobody till somebody loves you. You're nobody till somebody cares. You may be king, you may possess the world and its gold, but gold won't bring you happiness when you're growing old. The world still is the same, we'll never change it. Just as sure as the stars shine above, you are nobody till somebody loves you. So find yourself somebody to love.
Shall I fetch your truck around now, Granny? It's all fixed.
All right.
Now, you see what I mean, Jed? She's got a pleasant voice, but it just ain't got no power to it. She wants to go on the road with us and sing at fairs and such.
Why, you'd never hear her over the livestock, Judge. Chickens cackling and pigs squealing would plumb drown her out.
Well, this is the prettiest dress I ever did see.
Oh, thank you, Ellie.
But take my advice, Gladys. Don't wash it in hot water no more. It's pretty near shrunk off you now.
All right, Granny, I'll be careful.
Well, you better change. This ain't no dress to wear walking around the stockyards.
Stockyards?
Jethro's going to drive us down to pick out the hog to butcher.
Granny, I thought maybe once you heard me sing that you might want to forget about the cooking lessons.
Oh, no, honey. Just 'cause you ain't a world beater at one thing don't mean you can't do another.
Hey, what have you done to the truck, Jed?
Well, that's Jethro's doing. He ain't got enough to keep himself busy, so he's took up inventing. He calls that his traffic jam jumper.
I got that moving ahead problem licked, Uncle Jed. Now I got rocket power.
Jethro, Gladys. Gladys has decided to stay here and let us go pick out the hog.
Okay, let's go.
What's all this stuff?
Get in, I'll show you. Let's say we's going down the freeway. And all of a sudden, there's a big traffic jam up ahead. Well, we don't sit there and sweat and fume.
What do we do?
Watch. I throw this out of gear. Throw this into gear. Give this a yank. And here we go. Hang on, Granny!
Ain't that kind of dangerous, Jed?
Could be, yes. Granny! Don't let him turn off the key!
You what?
Turn off the key!
Like I said, the boy ain't got enough to keep himself busy.
Same thing the next time you get me in that car, you get me.
Granny, where are those pone sticks I just baked?
Oh, I put them out back to cool.
Oh, how did they taste?
I don't know, honey. They were too hot. Come on, Gladys. Let's get to the pig knuckles.
Oh, Granny, do I have to? I love Lester and I want to please him, but I'm just no good at making these country dishes.
Well, I could learn you to cook a city dish, like beaver casserole.
Beaver casserole? That's a city dish?
Specialty of the house in the hotel dining room in Bug Tussle.
Granny, actually, I don't want to take cooking lessons at all. What I want more than anything in life is to sing.
You really got your heart set on it, ain't you?
Yes, I have. I love it.
All right. Take off your apron.
Oh, thank you.
I'll give you a singing lesson.
Well, on second thought, every wife should know how to cook something for her husband.
Yeah, Lester, you got yourself a problem. A woman as pretty as Gladys would likely be a big drawing card in fairs, rodeos.
Oh, she's pretty, all right, and sweet as sorghums, but... You know, Lester, I've been thinking, maybe if Gladys had sang right into a microphone and we turned the volume up as high as it'd go...
Oh, it ain't just her voice, Earl. She just won't want to learn no proper song.
She don't?
Oh, I've tried my best to get her to sing Stompin' the Clover, Sweet Nellie, and The Sinking of the Titanic.
And she don't want it?
Oh, she wants to sing songs like Stardust, Night and Day, and Smoke Gets in Your Eyes.
I never heard of them.
Well, you see what I'm up against.
I do for a fact.
Well, cheer up, Lester. Maybe Granny will teach her to cook so good she'll want to stay home in the kitchen.
I sure hope so. Say, Jed, what kind of wood is this? I've dulled 3 blades just to trying to whittle it.
Me too.
It is tough, ain't it?
Yeah, where'd you get these?
I found them laying on the bench.
Hi.
Darling, how's the cooking lessons coming along?
Just fine, Lester. I already baked some corn pone sticks.
Well, ain't that dandy?
They're my favorites.
How about a taste?
All right. Granny put them out here to cool.
Say, Mr. Drysdale's been a-calling you from the bank.
Let him call.
Well, ain't you working there no more?
I am happy to announce that I have terminated my affiliation with that penurious martinet.
Oh, still at the bank, huh?
Ellie, thanks to Mr. Flatt and Mr. Scruggs, I am about to become a balladeer, a troubadour, an interpreter of the true ethnic idiom.
He got your promotion, huh?
That's funny. I can't find him. Have you seen anything of him?
Not me, have you, Earl?
Me neither.
I bet you the birds got him. And the squirrel.
Oh, gee.
It ain't safe to leave anything that good around outside.
Too bad, Gladys.
Don't you worry, Lester. I'll go right back and bake some just for you.
Oh, Gladys, are you sure you wouldn't like to learn Stompin' the Clover, Sweet Nellie?
Oh, no, Lester. That's not my kind of music. I like sophisticated songs.
Well, then, how about the wreck of the old 97? Do it for her, fellas.
Jed, we'd rather not do one of them sad songs.
Would you rather eat one of them corn sticks?
Greetings, all. Hi, Jane.
Hey,
Here you are, gentlemen. I am ready for my audition. Your husband has invited me to journey to Nashville and join them in interpreting the folk music of our land.
Oh, well, isn't that sweet of my husband? He's never invited me to do that.
Honey, like I said, it's because you can't do her kind of music.
Who says I can't?
Well, and it's because you don't want to.
Who says I don't want to?
Well, and,
Here we go. The wreck of old 97. Let her go, Lester.
all they gave him was orders. Monroe, Virginia, Steve, you're way behind time. It's not 38, but it's old 97. You must put her in Spencer on time.
Sing one, Miss Jane.
He turned around and said to his fireman, shovel in a little more coal. And when we cross this big wide mountain, you can watch all 97 a roll.
Come on, Gladys, now show us what you can do.
The mighty rough road from Lynchburg to Danville, it's lying on a 3-mile grade. It was on that grade that he lost his air brakes, and you see what a jump he made.
Pump us a course, Jed.
Going down grade, making 90 miles an hour, his whistle began to scream. He was found in a wreck with his hand on the throttle and was scalded to death by the
Morning, Nellie.
Morning, Paul.
Where's your granny?
How about to see me at pond?
Nellie Mae. I'd like to strike up a bargain with you.
What's that, Paul?
If they won't eat in my kitchen, I won't eat in their tree.
Well, it ain't their fault they're in here. They'd heap rather eat in a tree.
Then why ain't they?
'Cause Granny's making soap on it. These poor little critters couldn't hardly stand it.
Yeah, Granny's lye soap of cooking does give off some right powerful fumes.
Miss Jane says it's commencing to kill Miss Drysdale's hibiscus.
What's a hibiscus?
Some kind of a flower plant. Miss Drysdale's got a prize one that sits right next to her patio.
Drysdale place does sit downwind of our pond, don't it?
Yes, sir.
I'll have to speak to Granny about cooking her soap someplace else. You know, I've seen them fumes bring a full-grown mule right down to her knees.
Hey, Granny, some more of the bark off this tree just fell into your soap.
That's all right, Jethro. It'll dissolve.
Hey, have you noticed some of the branches is turning to mite brown, puckering up?
Yeah, I reckon the bugs is after it.
Could it be your soap?
Nah, bugs won't go near my soap.
Howdy, Miss Drysdale.
What's the matter, honey? You got the sniffles?
Oh, no, it's not that. Granny, could I speak to you over there?
Why, sure, honey, and don't you cry. Whatever's troubling you, I'm here to help. Now. Dry them tears and tell old Granny what's got you to bawling like that.
It's your soap.
Oh, you can have all you want. Feel better now?
It's not that. It's the vapor.
Is it bad?
Yes. In fact, I've just had dreadful news from my nurseryman.
What'd he say?
He said unless you do something, he's going to have to take out my hibiscus.
No! Oh, I'll help you. Don't let them go to cutting on you.
Morning, Mrs. Drysdale. Right, sir, about your hibiscus.
Jed, maybe she'd rather not talk about it in front of you.
Oh, no, that's all right. I'm glad Mr. Clampett is here. As you know, your pool area practically adjoins my garden.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I'm giving a garden party this afternoon about 3. You will be through cooking soap and hanging wash by then, won't you?
Oh, can we yet?
Oh, please do. The very best people in Beverly Hills will be there, and I was hoping that you folks would cooperate.
Oh, we'd be glad to cooperate.
You betcha we will. But even with our help, should you be giving a party with your ailing hibiscus?
I shall rise above that.
Well, don't let him take it out. I'll doctor it back to health for you.
Thank you. Perhaps tomorrow. Now remember, the party is from 3 until about 5:30. And I'll appreciate it if all of you will be as inconspicuous as possible. Perhaps Jethro could drive you around in the truck.
Oh, no need to do that. We can walk over to your place.
And we'll be on time, too.
3 o'clock sharp.
Granny, this poor little critter just can't stand no more of your soft cooking.
Well, let him go some other place then.
Take him over your place for a while, Miss Drysdale.
Oh, bye, Miss Drysdale. You want some hot soap to take home with you? Your soap's done, Granny. It's commencing to thicken.
I'll put the fire out.
Thank you, Jed. Now, Ellie, get rid of that skunk and start taking down the clothes. We gotta all pitch in and help Miss Drysdale with her party.
Is she having a party?
She is with our help. Poor woman. She has an ailing hibiscus.
I know, Miss Jane told me.
Hey, Granny, what's a hibiscus?
Never mind, that's doctor's talk.
Well, we've been studying the human body over to school, but we ain't never studied that.
Of course not. That's for grown-ups. Now get this. No, Ellie. It's a long time since I run into anyone with a ailing hibiscus.
It has?
Yeah. A funny thing. Not everybody has them in the same place.
Well, I reckon that's so.
Yeah. Did Miss Jane happen to mention where Miss Drysdale's is?
Yes, ma'am, Granny. She says it's right next to her patio.
Yeah, that's where the generally is. A right awkward place to poultice, too.
I might add that the construction of high-rise buildings in the Beverly Hills area is a contributory factor in the financial up... Who let these tramps in? Get out of here!
See here, you derelict. You're... Oh, Mrs. Drysdale. Ravenswood.
What?
Here, Milburn, have a skunk. That's only a toy. I was handed the real thing.
Margaret, what's the meaning of this masquerade?
It's a graphic illustration of what will happen this afternoon unless you do something about those hillbillies.
What do you mean?
They're going to crash my formal garden party.
Oh, nonsense. They couldn't care less about that tea-sipping poodle pack you run with.
That's true. I think they've been invited. And I warn you, Milburn, if they ruin my garden party...
No, Margaret, will you relax, dear? I'll solve this problem just as I've solved dozens of others. Now, you and Ravenswood run along home and I'll handle everything, all right?
All right.
Sir. And please take the freight elevator.
Tell me, Chief, just how do you plan to solve this problem?
Just as I've solved dozens of others, I'm turning it over to you.
Come on, get away from here. I got victuals to cook for Miss Drysdale's garden party.
What's a garden party, Granny?
Well, I ain't sure I know. You, Jed?
Yeah, I've been studying on it some. I think I got it figured.
What you got figured?
Well, when folks has a barn raising party, everybody comes over and helps you build a barn. When you have a quilting party, everybody gets together and makes a quilt. So I reckon when you got a garden party, everybody comes over and makes a garden.
That figures.
Jethro, you and me got to get the shovel and the spade and the tater fork all honed up nice and bright. Chances are these Beverly Hills Society folks is going to show up with some fancy, shiny tools. Come on.
Just a minute. Just a doggone minute.
What's the matter?
Well, when I wanted to plow up our front yard and make a garden, it was the Drysdale that said I had an order. Now, how come they's making one?
I think I got that figured.
What you got figured?
I hear tell Miss Drysdale is overpowering fond of flowers. I reckon she wants to make a flower garden.
Yeah, that figures.
I reckon so.
Come on, Jethro. There's ground to be turned.
Yeah, that figures. Oh, howdy, Miss Jane. It's good to see you. Kid, put an edge on this thing while I have a little private talk with Miss Jane.
Here, Granny.
Now, what is it, Granny?
I promised Miss Drysdale that I would do my best to doctor her hibiscus.
Oh, that's wonderful of you. I know she's terribly worried about it.
Yeah, the poor thing was crying the last time I seen her. Tell me, just how bad is it?
Well, I'd say it's about half gone.
No!
Yes, one side is withered and turned brown.
Oh, this is going to take some doing to save that.
Yes, the nurseryman is in favor of just taking it out completely.
No! I told Miss Drysdale that. Don't let him do that. Cutting something out is the last resort.
No, I'm sure Mrs. Drysdale agrees with you. She wants desperately to save it. She's had 2 blue ribbons on it.
Don't you tell her I told you. That ain't going to help nothing.
Here you are, Granny. You can split up frogs here with that.
Oh, thank you, Jed. Come on out to the kitchen, Miss Jane. I'm mincing me some crawdads for Miss Drysdale's party.
Oh, no, wait. That's what I want to talk to you about. Please don't go.
What?
What?
And disappoint Miss Drysdale?
Just when she needs us?
And we give our promise?
Please believe me, you will not enjoy it.
Well, this is a poor time for us to be thinking of our own enjoyment when you-know-who has got a withered you-know-what.
Jed, everything's honed and sharpened.
Howdy, Miss Jane. Are you going to the party?
No, Ellie, and I hope none of you will go either.
What? What's got into you?
Now, hold on, everybody. I'll handle this. Miss Jane, you know how fond we are of you. You've been a good friend to us, but I reckon the time has come when we got to do what we know is right, and we're going to that party.
All right, if you insist. But you can't go to a garden party in those clothes.
Oh, of course not. We're going to put on our old clothes.
Old clothes?
Yes, ma'am. You can't expect us to do gardening work in our good clothes.
But you don't garden at a formal garden party.
What do you do?
Stand around and sip tea and listen to music and boring conversation. Now, do you still insist upon going? All right, but first, will you do one thing for me? Chief, I would like you to meet a society family who are on their way to your wife's formal garden party.
Are you kidding? I've got no time for those professional tea tasters.
I think you're going to like these people. Entree.
Hi, Mr. Grandale. Jed Clampett.
Ellie Mae. Jethro. And Granny. Can that be you?
I ain't sure. You don't look like me.
Miss Hathaway, how did you do it?
Well, Chief, the fact that the bank held a mortgage on a certain movie studio was a great help.
Mr. Drysdale, you coming to the party?
Well, I don't ordinarily, but I will today.
Well, we see you there.
Bye.
So long. Goodbye.
He don't act a bit worried about his wife's hibiscus.
He couldn't care less. His wife's the one with the green thumb.
Oh, sure that's where it is.
Come on, Uncle Jed, the party's starting. Hear that music?
Yeah, but we gotta wait for our women folks, Jethro.
How come they's late?
Women is always late, Jethro.
How come?
No man can answer that. Probably no women neither.
There sure is a lot of pretty girls over there at the party. Can I sweet talk me one, Uncle Jed?
Chances are she'd be with a feller.
If I whoop the fella, can I sweet talk her then?
No, Jethro, this being our first Beverly Hills High Society garden party, I reckon we ought to just watch the folks and not go to scrapping. Unless, of course, everybody else does. In which case, be careful of your borrowed clothes.
Yes, sir.
Elmer and me's ready.
Hey, I don't recall Elmer being invited to the party.
Can I take him, please, Paul?
Oh, I reckon not, Ellie.
No fighting or scrapping neither.
Well, this party sure ain't gonna be much fun.
Oh, yes, it is. I make sure of that.
Remember now, Granny's rheumatism medicine is just for old folks with rheumatiz.
For not so old folks who want to ward it off. Providing, of course, they's married.
Well, come on, everybody, let's load up and cut through the hedge and get to the party.
Bye, Elmer.
Dorothy, all the way to Santa Barbara. How lovely. Oh, I beg your pardon, gentlemen. Have we met?
I hope to kiss a pig we have.
He's your next door neighbor.
Our smelling salts.
Looks like we got here in the nick of time. She's looking a little piquant.
You leave everything to us, honey. All right, you young'uns, get them chitlins and that crawdad dip on the table over there.
Crawdad dip? It's finger-licking good, ma'am, and so is these little hot possum sausages. Just a swimming in hog renderings. Don't burn yourself.
Anything tastes good after a few swigs of this.
Really would help.
Granny always brings a couple of jugs to barn raisins and quilting parties.
I've seen a jug of this razor barn pretty near single-handed.
And it gets credit for some right crazy quilts, too.
You want me to put these on the table, Uncle Jed?
Yeah, Jethro, but pass the word around. Nobody to touch it but married folks.
Now, what can we do to help you the most?
How soon did she say the overflow would commence to overflowing over here?
She didn't say no particular time, Jethro, but when it commences, we's in charge of it.
I'll see how it's going over there.
My possum sausages will be stone cold.
Really? Want me to take them in and put them on the stove for you first, Bill?
Thank you, Ellie. But be careful. Don't splatter any hog renderings on your party dress.
I won't, Randy.
I don't blame them young'uns for getting restless. I'm getting a mite squirmy myself.
Me too.
Granny, I'd ask you to dance, but that is the sorriest dancing music I ever listened to.
Only one thing sorrier.
What's that?
It's stuff they call fruit punch.
It don't have much body to it.
Tastes like it was drawed off a barrel of rainwater that some apples dropped into it.
Pitiful.
Kid, you know what that stuff needs, don't you?
I sure do.
At least the overflow folks will get their whistle wet proper.
Uncle Jed.
How's the party going, Jethro?
Terrible. Everybody's just standing around. The only one moving's that fiddler player.
He's moving?
Yeah, he keeps walking up to different people playing in their faces, and they still won't dance.
Well, it ain't altogether their fault, Jethro. He plays that thing like he's stove up with rheumatiz.
Uncle Jed, I'm getting tired of standing around these here clothes. Can I go swimming?
Yeah, I reckon so, Jethro. Granny and me take care of the overflow.
Yeah! Judging from what showed up so far, that alligator in the pond can handle them. Alligator!
Granny, that ain't no... Granny!
Thought I seen that varmint this morning, but I wasn't sure.
Granny! That ain't no real live alligator.
It ain't now. I I blowed a hole in him you could swim a catfish through.
Granny, I reckon it's a mite late to be telling you now, but...
Hey, what happened? Is everybody all right?
Howdy, young feller. My name is Jed Clampett.
Kirk Massey.
And this here is Granny.
Howdy.
How do you do?
Hey, we've been listening to you sawing on that thing. Kind of sluggish, ain't it?
Well, that's what they want over there.
Well, it ain't what we want over here. Now, come on. We got the overflow here. Come on, let's liven things up a little bit.
Well, may I have some of the punch for
I
you first?
recommend it. Come on, everybody, get some punch. Here comes the hot sausages. This here is my daughter, Ellie Mae, and that young fella carrying the sausages is my nephew, Jethro.
Well, howdy.
Wow. Hey, Fred. Howdy.
Wow, hey, Doris.
Hey, fellas.
Ravenswood, did you find anyone in the house?
No, madam. It's as deserted as the garden.
Oh.
Madam, might I have the rest of the afternoon off?
What? Oh, yes, I suppose so.
Oh, thank you, madam. Party over so soon?
It's only 4:30. Those dreadful hillbillies have stolen all my guests, all 300 of them.
Can I see you for a minute?
Careful of her hibiscus, Jed.
Any party, Miss Drysdale.
Thank you, Mr. Clampett. And get dressed and get to the airport to meet your new ma.
But, Granny, the widow poke ain't my new ma yet.
She will be. I've been matchmaking better than 50 years. Ain't had a failure yet.
But what if Pa don't want to get married?
Ellie Mae, no man wants to get married. You have to lead him to the trough of happiness like you would a horse to water. But, Granny, now, Ellie Mae, leave these growed-up matters to me. Now, your pa needs a wife, and you need 'em all. The widow poke needs a husband, and that no-account boy of hers needs a pa. I'm gonna have 4 people a-slurping from one trough of happiness. Yeah. Oh, Jed needs a wife, and Ellie needs them all. The widow needs a husband, and her boy needs a pa. And who's gonna make them all as happy as can be? That little old matchmaker, me.
I don't like this, not one bit. Now, Jed Clampett wouldn't get married without confiding in me. Now, I want to know what's going on.
All I know is that Granny asked me to drive Ellie Mae to the airport to meet the bride-to-be.
Well, I don't like it. Who is this widow Poke?
Apparently she's an old friend from back in the hills.
Probably after Jed for his money. I don't like it, I tell you.
I doubt that money is her motive, Chief. Her son is Johnny Poke, the teenager's favorite singer.
I don't care who he is. I still don't like it.
He's reputed to earn over $1 million a year.
$1 million a year?
Yes.
I'm beginning to like it. You'll need a good safe bank for all that money.
Ellie will be ready in a minute. What do you think about Jed getting married?
Well, it comes as quite a surprise.
It certainly does.
If you think you're surprised, wait till Jed hears about it.
You mean to say Mr. Clampett doesn't know he's getting married?
He don't even know the widow's coming to town. If he did, he would stubborn up on me like a mule in a mud puddle.
Well, aren't you taking a lot for granted?
Yes, it takes two to make a marriage.
Well, two's making this marriage. The widow Polk and me. Get a move on, Ellie.
Granny, I feel very strongly that we should sit down with Mr. Clampett and talk this over.
So do I.
I figured you would. That's why I sent him hunting.
Granny, you can't...
Now, you listen to me. There ain't a man been born that knows what's best for him. Jed is too young to be single and miserable.
But he's very happy.
Where'd you hear that? From him?
Well, as a matter of fact, yes.
What does he know about it? Underneath all that happiness, he's miserable. Jed needs a wife, and I'm going to see that he gets one.
Hi there, Miss Jane, Mr. George.
Hello, Ellie.
Now, Ellie will point the widow out to you, though she'll be hard to miss, 'cause she's so beautiful. The widow, Polk? You just be quiet and point.
Well, I hope Mr. Clampett won't be angry with us for our part in this.
You leave Jed to me. I've been matchmaking better than 50 years. I ain't had a failure yet. By the time you get the widow back, Jed will be dressed in his courting clothes, paw on the ground, getting ready to propose. Bye.
Where's Ellie going?
Who?
Ellie Mae.
Ellie Mae who?
Ellie Mae Alfalfa Hay.
I don't think I know any.
Granny, I'm talking about the girl sitting in the back of that car.
What car?
The car going out the gate.
What gate?
Never mind.
I don't see so good, Jed.
You like a hawk, you don't see so good. Well, I reckon I'll get back to my hunting.
Jed, you gotta get all duded up.
To go hunting?
You know, the Beverly Hills style.
What kind of hunting is that?
I'll tell you about it, Jed. It's plumb wonderful. Now, you get all dressed up. You come out here and you sit on the porch with a handful of flowers and a box of candy. Now, Mr. Rabbit comes by, sees you sitting there, and he says, "What's that feller doing sitting there?" Then he says to himself, all dressed up, he can't be hunting. Then Mr. Cottontail comes hopping up to sniff the flowers. You drop your hat on him and you got yourself a rabbit.
Beverly Hills style.
Yeah,
Sound good.
sure does.
Real smart.
Ain't it?
He sniffs the flower,
Yeah,
drop the hat,
yeah,
got a rabbit.
that's right.
One question.
Ask me.
Who's the candy for?
The widow Polk. Jed, listen to me, please. Jed, now I want to explain. Go ahead and shoot me. If the time has come when a poor old lonesome woman can't invite a friend to come and visit her, then I don't want to go on living nohow.
Widow Polk is coming to see you?
Of course. But if hospitality has become a crime, then shoot me, 'cause I'm guilty.
Is that where Ellie's going, to meet the widow?
Yeah. But, Jed, you don't have to let her in. Lock the gates on her. Sick the dogs on her. Shoot her in the leg. She'll get the hint that she ain't welcome. What does it matter that poor old Granny is dying of lonesomeness to see the dearest, sweetest friend she ever had in the whole world?
The widow Polk?
Like sisters we was. But this is your place, Jed. You don't have to let her stay. We'll go to one of them flop houses.
Flop houses?
Though goodness knows we won't get no rest with all them men beating on that beautiful woman's door all night.
What beautiful woman is that, Granny?
The widow Pope.
Granny, you used to say that she looked like the backside of a mud fence.
Well, as a child, she was plain, but she blossomed into a lovely young girl.
Girl? The widow Pope?
I don't think she's seen 30.
Oh, she's seen it all right. She just can't remember it.
Connect me with one of them flop houses.
Granny, you know good and well the widow was welcome here. I just don't want you to do no matchmaking.
Matchmaking? Why, I don't know what you're talking about. Every man is free to pick his own wife.
Man picks his own wife like a tomato picks a farmer. Especially with you working around the patch.
Jed, if I was to try matchmaking, why would I try with a widow?
Don't know why not. Don't know who's got more going for her. A widow knows all about men. The only man knows about her is dead.
I declare I don't know what makes you so suspicious.
Maybe it's because every year for 15 years you've tried to get me married.
Yeah, and you're spoiling my perfect record. What do you got against marriage anyway?
I ain't got nothing against marriage, Granny. I'm all for it.
Yeah?
Of course. Man needs a wife.
That's right.
There's a lot of things you can't blame on the government.
Worst hunting I ever did see. Hey, fiddle's ready, Granny?
We'll eat when our company comes. Now get upstairs and get cleaned up, both of you.
Who's coming?
The widow Polk. The finest cook in Cass County and the prettiest young woman ever to come out of the hills.
3 of them, huh? Well, Uncle Jed, the hunting around here sure is sorry.
Well, don't worry about it, boy. Granny just taught me how to hunt Beverly Hills style.
Well, tell me.
Well, you get yourself all duded up. You sit on the front porch with a handful of flowers and a box of candy.
Yeah?
Well, then, along comes this rabbit. Snips the flowers. Take off your hat.
I'll see that man happy married if it kills him.
Don't drive too fast, Miss Hardaway. You'll bend Johnny.
I'll be careful. The name is Hathaway.
Mrs. Polk, do you carry that picture every place you go?
Well, up to now, I ain't never been no place, but I wouldn't go without Johnny. Ain't he beautiful, Ellie?
Yes, ma'am, Miss Polk. He sure enough is. Right handsome.
He's an angel, that's what he is. Do you like him, Miss Hardaway?
Oh, yes, indeed. The name is Hathaway.
I understand your son's income is about $1 million a year.
Yes, and every month, rain or shine, regular as clockwork, Johnny sends me $5.
What do you do with all that money?
Well, up to now, most of it's gone to pay for this picture. Isn't he beautiful, Ellie?
Yes, ma'am, he sure enough is.
Oh, he's an angel. He sings like one, too. Have you heard my boy sing, Miss Hardaway?
Hathaway. Yes, he's excellent.
I hope he's putting all his money in a good, safe bank.
He sings in a gold suit. Have you seen him in his gold suit, Ellie?
No, ma'am, I ain't.
Me neither. It was sure nice of your granny to pay my way out here so that I could see Johnny.
To see Johnny? Well, didn't she say anything about your getting married?
Well, yes, she did mention something about marrying Jed, but I'd have to ask Johnny first. Isn't he beautiful, Ellie?
Yes, ma'am, he sure enough is.
The salt of the earth, that boy.
By the way, where's he salting away all his money?
Mr. Drysdale is president of our finest bank.
Oh, well, what bank is that, Miss Hardaway?
Hathaway. And it's the same bank where Mr. Clampett has his account. Oh, perhaps your son would like to become a depositor.
Well, I'll speak to him about it.
Wonderful.
Will you ask Miss Hardaway to slow down? She's a-bending Johnny again.
Slow down, Miss Hardaway.
Well, howdy, folks. Welcome to California, Willie.
Oh, Jed, you shouldn't have done it.
Well, matter of fact, dandy big picture of your boy, ain't it?
Ain't he beautiful?
May I carry him into the house for you, Mrs. Polk?
Yes, but handle him careful.
Johnny Polk!
Hiya, Granny. Let's twist.
I get the money I sent your ma. That was for her to come out here and marry Jed.
So you ain't matchmaking, huh?
Jed, wait, I can explain everything. I hope.
Well, here we are.
Well, Mrs. Pope, what do you think of Mr. Clampet's match?
Well, let's see now. Where'll I put my phonograph? How about right here, Miss Hardaway?
I see you have one of the new transistor portables. Very fine.
I had to sell my cap and walk all the way to Sibley to buy that. And I got all of Johnny's albums. Every time a new one comes out, I sell a pig and buy it. That's my boy. Ain't he beautiful? And he sings like an angel.
I'm a dragster's whale. I'm a rocket's tail.
Here, Jed, shoot me. If trying to make two people happy is a crime, then I'm guilty. Shoot me.
Annie, we've been going through this for 15 years now. Why don't you give up?
'Cause at last I found the right woman for you. The one who can make you happy.
You talking about the widow Polk?
Sweetest little thing that ever drawed a breath.
Granny, her first husband was so henpecked he molted twice a year.
Are you saying that Clyde and Emma Polk didn't have a happy marriage?
No, as I recall, the marriage was real happy. It was a living together afterward that caused all the trouble.
All right, Jed. I can see the widow ain't welcome. Connect me with one of them flop houses. Jed, I'm calling one of them flop houses. The widow and me will be leaving right away.
Better take this with you, Granny. You're gonna need it to stand off them fellas that's gonna be beating on a widow's door all night. Pass you something, Witter?
I reckon not.
No trouble at all with these handy pot passers.
The whole place is handy, Emma. No trouble at all to take care of. Have you seen this pretty green tablecloth? Glued right onto the table.
Damn sakes.
Never have to take it off to wash it. Just go over it with a wet rag now and then. Have you seen this thing? Keeps the plates from sliding off the table.
I never seen the like.
Ah, that ain't nothing. Take a look at them handy pockets built right into the table.
I'll be sweet. What they for?
We don't know.
I'm terribly sorry. I hope you'll excuse me. That was my wife calling.
How long you been married, Mr. Drysdale?
20 years.
Oh, ain't that wonderful? They've had 20 years of happiness.
No, we had 25 years of happiness. Then we got married.
I reckon many a man has lost his best friend by marrying her.
Jed, a cut-up, always funnin'. I think that's what's kept him so young.
No doubt.
What's your secret, widow? Emma. What's your secret?
Well, if we're a tellin', I reckon my worst one is, I hit the jug a little. Just a nip or two on cold days.
The widow fun's just like Jed. I guess that's what's kept them both so young.
Remarkably youthful.
Uncle Jed and the widow?
Jethro, it ain't polite to talk with your mouth full.
Well, my mouth ain't full.
Then fill it.
But I'm done eating, Granny.
Granny, I reckon we're all done eating.
Oh, then good. Now, while the table is being cleared and the dishes washed, maybe our young couple would like to go for a walk or a drive.
We sure would. Come on, Jethro.
Sit down. I'm talking about the young couple at the head of the table.
Well, matter of fact, Widow, I would like a couple of words with you alone.
The parlor is empty. Draw the drapes. It makes it more cozy. And have some of them sour lemon drops. It gets you all puckered up. I've been matchmaking better than 50 years. Ain't had a failure yet.
Sit down a minute, widow. There's something I ought to say to you.
But I got something I ought to say to you first, Jed.
Well, what I got to say is mighty important.
But I can make mine quick and merciful. Jed, I can't marry you. Now, what did you want to say?
Come to think of it, mine ain't so important.
What are you doing sitting here? The parlor's empty. I'll put on some dancing music. I know how you young folk like to rock your rolls and jitter your bugs.
Jed, I hope I ain't broke your heart. Is there anything I can do to make it up to you?
Well, yes, there is, widow. You can help save me from another 15 years of Granny's matchmaking. You game?
I sure am. I've had 20 years of it myself.
Granny! Uncle Jeb and the widow's back.
Where in tarnation have they been all this time?
Looks to me like they've been to the beach.
The beach!
Yes, ma'am.
What in the name of good sense are you get up for?
Surfing, Granny. Me and Eva been making a Malibu scene along with the other kids.
Kids?
Ain't that a beautiful board, Granny? Jed learned me to hang 10.
We really shot the curls today.
Jethro, what they talking about?
Well, that there surfing talk, Granny. Shooting the curls when you come down off...
Cool it, Jethro. Granny just ain't groovy. Say, chick, let you and me go in there and put on some of them whaling Johnny Poke sides and stomp out some what-to-see.
I dig you, Big Daddy. You're real boss. We're going steady.
Miss Jean, what happened?
Oh, Granny, isn't it just marvelous? And the credit is yours. You told them to act their age.
Well, they ain't doing it.
Hi, Granny. You want to go running hunting with us tonight?
No, I don't.
Real cube, ain't she?
Oh, Granny ain't jetting just too much. He plumb turns me on.
How about the drag races tomorrow, baby?
You bought it, man.
Come on, Granny. Get with it.
All I want to do is get out of it. Right in here, fellas. All you can eat. Big ones, too.
I'm a very own favorite.